Everybody's ahead of me. So yeah. Good. James Schubert just got home from fishing Lanier.
Hawks.
There you go. Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks.
When was the last time they've done anything?
I don't watch them. I don't know.
No, either.
I don't know. Give it just to you. There we go. Somebody got past the commercials. There we go. It is Tuesday night, right?
Yeah,
it is. There we go. All right.
All day long.
All day long. All right. So
Tennessee River is a whole different ballgame compared to
it sure is. Guys, want to welcome you to the show at Fish North Georgia on a Tuesday night here in beautiful Marble Hill, Georgia. And let me get started there, Facebook user. We'll go ahead and get the get it out of the way. Paul is getting ready to put down in the comments a www.streamyard.com/Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, go to that and put your name in there so that when you say what's up, we can talk to you and mention you by name. So definitely want to do that. There you see it in the lower corner of the picture. Ooh, that was a bad whistle, went right through my teeth out there. But anyway, so definitely go do that. And we appreciate all of you. Did I do it again? Did you hear it twice? I'm whistling through my teeth tonight.
You're just hearing stuff, I think.
Really? You can't hear it?
I didn't notice either.
Wow. All right. Well, I thought it was pretty loud. Pretty
You've been
profound.
here all day.
It's been a long day. But anyway, we're glad that you could end the night with us and that you could spend a little time with us. We're going to talk fishing, do a little storytelling, and just our usual prognostications on the upcoming weekend fishing. So
it's about to get good. About to get good. Is getting good everywhere, if you ask me.
There you go. Once again, hello, guys, and tight lines to all. God bless Facebook user. Yeah, God bless you, but go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and enter your name in there so that we can call you out by name. It's a lot more personable to talk to you as something else other than Facebook users. So, again, got a great show in store for tonight. Dana Smith with FCP Fishing is back in the house, and a lot of you guys, since the last time he's been on, I've heard it from several of you that he was your favorite episode. A lot of guys like the way that you've talked about Lanier and stuff. I've heard he's really a cool guy and stuff like that. And I tell everybody, yes, he is.
That's nice to hear.
He is. He's definitely a cool guy. And we're gonna talk Lake Lanier tonight. And of course, I've got Blake Buchanan back at my left side tonight.
The guinea pig.
The guinea pig.
I'm tired of being the guinea pig.
Huh? No, you're not. Yes, you say you are, but you're really not.
It's like everything always falls on me. I have to be the test dummy, the guinea pig, the first one tries anything.
You didn't try the pork brains?
That's a little out of my comfort zone now. That ain't getting tried.
Out of your comfort zone?
Yeah.
What is the limits of your comfort zone?
Pork brains, I guess.
All right, Husker Bass. That's is that somebody we know since you're from?
That's my son.
Your son.
Yes.
All right, Husker Bass. There you go.
He's a pretty good fisherman himself.
That's right. Derek White, Lake Lanier. That's right, Derek. We know we've been seeing the pictures that you've been posting here lately, so I know that you are definitely on them as well. But let me do some business here. What are we doing here? Oh, the producer, Paul Coonan is here. Josh is out of town this week, so Paul is filling in and barking orders at us already.
Way to smooth it out there.
How'd you like that? Is that good? We're gonna get to talk about his head here in a second, Alan. That's just gonna be a great story, and we've actually got some demonstrations to show you.
We're gonna run a hook in my arm and jerk it out.
You want to do it? What's your comfort zone? We might as well do it. Would you rather do that or sing the song? So there you go,
Blake. I'd go with the hook.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that today when I was out on the pond fishing. I was like, you know what? That might be pretty good, but knowing our luck, we'd try to recreate it.
We wouldn't be able to do it.
It wouldn't happen this time.
That's exactly right. Guys, real quick, I want to tell you this episode is brought to you by State Farm and the Cassidy Agency. And once again, you're going to hear me talk about the benefits of the policies with State Farm. You know, they're a great company, and our local guy, Chase Epley, at the phone number 678-779-7269. He can do everything, again, from your home to your auto. They do mortgage now. I believe it's with Quicken Loans. They do that and these personal article policies. You guys really need to jump on that All right, because everybody's getting ready to ramp up on the fish, and you want to protect all your stuff. But I'm gonna run a little bit of a special here. I don't know how I want to word this, but how about this? For every person that will call Chase, we'll do it for a week or so, next 2 weeks. For every person that calls Chase and has him quote a policy of any sort, be it auto, be it home, be it one of these personal policies, if you will give him your name, I'm going to have him relay it to me, and I'm going to send you a True Grit prize pack. So all you got to do is call and have him quote anything, okay? A legitimate quote, and I will give you a True Grit prize pack free. I'm going to get Chase to write it down. You need to tell him that Fish North Georgia sent you, and if you do that, he'll relay the information back to me, and I'm going to make sure you get something for your time. But I really want to give Chase the business because he's local and because they have taken the time at the Cassidy Agency to invest in our show and also into the Elites as a sponsor. So we want to show them a big thank you. And so I would hope you would do that, and then let me thank you by sending you some True Grit product just for doing that. So let's run that for the next week, 2 weeks. So we'll say what's the Fallen Soldier tournament's on the 20th, correct? So we'll run it to the 20th. How about that? So anybody that calls Chase Epley at Cassidy State Farm at 678-779-7269, or you can email them chase@CassidySF.com. Get a legitimate quote, and I don't even know why I look back, Paul. You got it on the screen now. I should be smarter than that. I can look forward the whole time. But if you call and get a legitimate quote, I'll have him give me the information. I'll make sure you will get a True Grit prize pack. So that's a pretty cool thing. Now, a couple of announcements real quick. First, Fishing for Warriors kayak tournament, March 20th on Lake Lanier. All right. I want you to contact on Facebook Justin Speece, Speece. He's the one that is coordinating this. He has got, good grief, he's doing a raffle for $1. You can Venmo him the money. We have them here, the tickets here at the store. $1 gets you in a raffle for a chance at it's like $4,500 worth of prizes, all kinds of different things from rods to guide trips, you name it. Justin has really busted his backside for this great cause, and the tournament's going to be great. And all this money, I believe the tournament itself is a 50% payback, so 50% goes to Fishing for Warriors, and it's all going to raise that $20,000. That's the goal that we have set to raise for these guys. And I'm pretty sure that after this tournament and this raffle, we're not going to have that much work to do afterwards. So again, that was for the rest of 2020. And so I'd like to knock this out, or 2021. I'd like to knock this out before summer gets here. So, and of course, if we do that, we're going to get to shave another mullet. Justin Donaldson, or Justin Aaron Brooks, correct? Am I right on that, Paul? Correct. I thought so. I got my names mixed up. We're going to shave his mullet, and we're going to tattoo Fish North Georgia on his backside. So definitely that's going to be a good thing. But Fishing for Warriors, look up Justin Speece and get a ticket from him, or again, come by the store. And if you're coming by the store as well, as always, Georgia Mountain Food Bank, bring us a can or two of any non-perishable food. And we would definitely love to everything good right there?
Peyton is fishing?
Peyton is fishing. Is the store open?
No, I'm looking at his picture, and he thought my mullet was bad.
Oh, is that what you're looking at?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, man, he's got the Chevy step sides and everything going into his.
Peyton is fishing. Buddy, where you at, bud? The store is technically not open, although if I'm here, you're more than welcome to come in.
There is a black Ford Ranger sitting outside. Y'all stop by.
There is a black Ford Ranger. That's right. Let's see. If you are a boater, reach out to Scott Barnes to register for the Fallen Outdoors coming up at a Little Hall on March 20th as well. That's that weekend as well. So a couple of good tournaments to help out veterans, and it's a good cause for everybody right there. So definitely want to do that. Walker, Texas Ranger. That's what he's got going on right there. So anyway, we're going to get into the Lake Lanier talk, but I promised a lot of people that the first thing we were going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Blake's mishap from this past Sunday. And so if you haven't seen the video yet, Blake, Huh?
Facebook.
Facebook, YouTube. It's
Yeah.
on Twitter now. I put it on Twitter today. I don't know if we got it on Instagram yet, but we need to get it on there.
I know it's on mine.
It's on yours?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you tell everybody about the phone call I received after lunchtime Sunday?
Yeah, so I work on the weekends. We got a small pond that we're able to fish at work. We pull out from the river. There's some spots in it. Didn't have nothing going on. I was like, well, I'm gonna go down here and fish for a little while. And of course, I forgot my tackle at the house. And I had a couple jerk baits in the truck. I just didn't have a rod. Well, the guy that I work with, he's always bringing his kids and stuff like that. So we left like an ultralight trout rod out by his locker. Picked his trout rod up, put a big old jerk bait on it. Like, whatever, we're going fishing. So went down to the pond, was throwing, catching a couple fish, and I was just about to get ready to leave. I was about to make like 2 more casts, and I'd noticed that the trout rod was a little too light for the jerk bait, and it was bending real bad, kind of like a what'd you call that? I was bending like a bull whip, I guess. It's like a whip basically when you throw because it's so light. But I went back over the back of my head, had a little too much line, it whipped, and it caught me. And first off, I was like, okay, it's either hit me in the back of the head or it's stuck. And sure enough, I went to pat my head and jerk bait dangled and I felt it. And I was like, okay, yeah, this thing's buried. So bit the line, got up to the office, called my buddy, kind of freaking out at this point because there's a little bit of blood and everything is in the back of my head. Didn't know what I was going to do. Oh, I was freaking out. I ain't going to lie. I called him and was able to, I don't have an iPhone, so we had to go through like Instagram to do like the FaceTime stuff, or not Instagram, but Snapchat or something. I'm in a bathroom with the phone propped up and everything with a pair of wire cutters trying to cut the O-ring off this jerk bait so I could get it out of the top of my head. Couldn't get it to work. And we tried this for 45 minutes, trying to talk back and forth to get it to work. Could not. He couldn't talk me into it. And I'm a lefty, so I'm sitting here doing all this.
That's right. Yeah, I got you.
So I got fed up, and eventually I just called my boss and was like, hey, man.
He called his boss. Now.
Yeah. I was like, somebody's going to have to come get me because I need to leave. Somebody's going to have to come work the rest of my shift. And, when somebody just picks the phone up, it's kind of like, are you stupid? Like, how the hell is that? Yeah, that's basically
exactly what I thought.
But had a guy come relieve me and everything. And it was funny as shit because when he come walking in the door and I was like, might tell you why I'm having to leave. And he goes, no. And I kind of just spun like this. And the damn jerk bait's hanging off the back of my head. And he's like, oh my God, how'd you do that? I was like, don't worry about it. Just cut it off the back of my head. So he cut it off. And I asked him, I was like, will you wrap some line or rip this thing out of the back of my head or something? And he's like, I can't do that. He's like, I can't. You got to go to the hospital or something. I was like, that ain't happening. I've been nickel and diming, saving up for my trip to the Keys. I'm not going to lie. And I did not want to pay a hospital bill. And it clicked. I was like, oh, well, Tatum's a nurse. She might know a thing or two. And Tatum was Danny's daughter. So I get in touch with this guy. And he's like, yeah, we'll do it at the store. Get to the store. Tatum's sitting there cutting around my hair and everything. And on the way back or from work to the store, I kept feeling. I was like, okay, I think one of the barbs is like already pushed through. So maybe we'll just have to push the other one through. No, I got here. The barb that I was feeling was the third treble.
Yeah.
That's what I kept feeling. I was like, oh, well, we cut it off. And it was either push it through or jerk it. Tatum started messing with it a little bit. I done decided I wasn't going to be able to take pushing it through on both sides because it had kind of been like a one at a time thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't going to work. So I asked Danny if he knew the braid trick. We didn't know it. Looked up the video of Kevin Van Dam ripping a jerk bait or a crankbait out of somebody's arm. And I said, here you go. Let's try it.
Yep.
And it worked.
Yeah. And I will say this was my first
good.
ever attempt at that. So I'm 1 for 1.
Yeah. I was pretty nervous. I ain't going to lie.
I'm 1 for 1.
I was real nervous.
And so what we thought we would do, and if you ain't watched the video, go watch it. It's definitely Blake cries like a girl.
I don't cry. There's some language.
There's some
that
language.
ain't real.
But your
I'm
reaction
surprised I didn't say a lot
it.
more.
No, you did good.
Yeah.
You did good. But once I really pulled it, I enjoyed it. Let's just say this. I actually got a kick out of ripping that thing out of your head.
Yeah.
But what we thought we would do is we were going to recreate it here just so you guys that don't know how to do it. We're just going to show you what we have here.
And this trick does work.
This does work. Now, Paul is going to have to get out from behind the thing. He's going to try to zoom in on this camera as best he can. All right. So again, Josh is out of town, so we're going to do this the best we can. But what you got right here is a Nerf ball. And in this Nerf ball, I have buried 2 parts of a treble hook. So can you see that? Yeah, so you're getting pretty good right there. Never mind. You see that bruise on my finger? That's where Josh popped me with his drone while we were fishing. So right there. All right. So here we're going to try to do this. Now, I'm going to turn it this way just a little bit, and I've got a piece of braid. All right. And what we're going to do is I'll have to lift this up just a little bit. Let me get this under the braid under. So you see the braid now is underneath right there. And that's exactly how it looked in his head. Let me turn with the camera. I got to come back the right way. There we go. And so you take your thumb or your finger right here and you press down really hard right here. And so, oh, look, I'm pulling it out without even doing it.
That's a jerk down motion.
It is a pull down motion. So as I took it and I wrapped it around there, so I got it tight. You don't need a lot. And then you pull down. I'm trying to do this in slow motion so you can kind of see the angle. And it just pops out like that. There's not a lot to it. Now I will say this: if you don't pull hard, it's going to hurt. Put your
ass into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story is one more time, just so everybody can see. Let me do it with my clean finger there. Pressure here, right down, and pull. Well, look, I'm tearing it up that time. I pulled down. Yeah, it leaves a little bit of a hole, but I mean, listen, all things considered, that's better than a bunch of stitches in the hospital bill. That would cost upwards of what? Probably cost like $1,000 just to get
probably
in there like that.
because they would have put shots in my head. Probably got a
that's right.
Tetra shot, all that junk.
So Facebook user, I've done it 3 times with braided line before. It works well. Again, if you'll go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, you need him to come this way. Which way?
That way.
That way. Yeah, the producer.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to get over here
listen.
because this thing's in the way. I can't read.
Oh,
just trying to get comfortable, but whatever.
So anyway, that's how, again, that was that's right. That's the first time I've ever done it. Now, have you ever had to do it?
I've had to have one surgically removed from me, and I've pulled them out of my fingers with just pliers a million
with
times.
Pliers like that. Well, that was what I was going to do. I was actually just going to grab it with a pair of needle nose and just twist it real hard.
That works too. It's easier. It's better.
I don't think needle nose.
Tetris
It's
shot.
better doing it the way you did it.
Eric Payne, Tetris shot. No, we don't play Tetris here. Now, tetanus, I don't know. He probably needs one. He needs that and a rabies shot and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just kidding. Don't get butt hurt. You're the one with hooking here.
You'll miss me when I'm gone.
Where you going?
Hell, I don't know.
Fishing.
Yeah.
So anyway, watch the video. And again, it's just, if you really take your time, and Blake actually throughout his pain does a pretty good job of kind of explaining what he wants me to do through the video. But the key is when you really, at the end of the day, when you go to pull that joker,
yank it.
You got to pull it.
That's
in fact, I pulled it so hard that if anybody's familiar with our building out here, we have a kind of like a ramp, a handicap ramp that comes up to our front door. That hook probably landed across the street.
Yeah, we can't find it.
We can't find it. We looked for it. It's gone.
I was going to do a picture. Couldn't find it.
Jeff Cash, lockjaw. If he gets lockjaw, we'll know he should have went and got a shot.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was one of the great adventures that always seems to happen here at the store. And but he is alive. He is surviving. I mean, you said your head was what? Yesterday you come in.
It was just like tender to the touch. I mean, I slept fine Sunday. Heard a little washing my hair, but other than that, I mean, it was fine. Just touching it. That was about it.
Just touching. It's just
but
sore.
like today, man, I can act like it don't even happen. Now, only thing that left was two little scabs where it clotted over with the blood. Other than that, it was great. So.
Right. And kudos to Tatum. She put an ice pack on it as soon as he got in there. And, mouthful of paper bags was the best.
I had to bite down on something. Because me, like.
Hey, Danny, hold on.
Yeah. Like, I knew. I got fake teeth in my mouth. I didn't want to chip them because that's expensive. It's probably more expensive to get a tooth redone.
It is.
Than
It
ER
is
bill.
It is not cheap.
I needed something to bite down on, but I was proud of myself. I didn't let too many cuss words roll. No,
you didn't. You actually cussed less after we did it.
Yeah, it was.
You
a big
actually
relief.
did. You did.
Yeah.
You didn't have nowhere near the potty mouth.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, that's the story. Moral of the story is if you're at work,
don't be a dumbass and go fishing and hook yourself.
First of all, don't go fishing while you're on company time.
Hey.
Number 2, Jeremiah, you wanted to know about spotted bass in a pond. Yes, that's because
they live totally fine in a pond. I got them even in the local lake around here, like a small pond. They live as long as it's got water coming into it, like a creek or something. they're going to be fine. And that pond at work is 12 foot deep all the way across.
How many acres?
Not many. Like it's probably about as long as 2 football fields and probably about 50 yards long. Literally all it is an intake. We pull water out of it into our clear wells. Gets fresh water from the Etowah River all day, every day. That water goes straight into our facilities at work.
So what you're telling me is you got fish in the county water.
No, they don't get sucked up.
Could they?
They can get sucked up from the intake, but they cannot get sucked into the plant. No. Wire screens are too small. We have to have a certain diameter screens.
I'm just curious. Okay.
But I mean, there's like some,
I'm not
there's some 4 and 5 pound spots in it. I can go down there during summertime with a spook and just throw it. We got a big pipe coming in from a river, bringing all that cold water in. They just stack up and you just throw a spook over top of them.
Is that why the water bills around here are so high?
Etowah County bill or Dawson County, yeah, probably.
Is that why it is?
No,
okay. So anyway, all right. So again, moral of the story is don't take and put a large size jerk bait on a flimsy trout rod that a coworker has brought to your place of employment and try to fish with it. So
no, don't do it.
Have we learned our lesson?
Yeah, don't use other people's gear. And
is that the moral of the story?
That's the moral of my story. Because if I would have been thinking a little more and be like, oh, I know I don't need to be throwing a jerk bait on this, like it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen if you was in there paying attention to the water stuff. It wouldn't happen either.
Oh, no, that was fine. Test was running, kick back.
All right, good. All right, so
Sunday,
anyway, all right, so we're good. Are we done with that story? Can we put that into bed?
Yeah, Jeremiah said that they die in small ponds. That's not true. Like I said, I know a lake that's about 2.5 acres, and it's only Davis Bar's about 15 foot, and they live all summer long. They're reproducing. There is fingerlings everywhere in it.
So Nathan, he had to call his boss.
Yep.
So evidently he didn't get fired. And Joseph wants to know, did you catch any?
Oh yeah, I showed you the picture. I caught one that's like 3.5, 4 pounds before I caught myself.
You're blaming it on the rod, though, Casey Blanton.
Yeah, I'm not blaming it on the rod because
it's a poor musician who blames his instrument.
Yeah.
Huh? What do you think? I mean, is that pretty? I mean, you're a musician. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, what if the guitar string breaks? What happens then? You blame yourself?
Playing?
You keep playing.
Oh, I was going to keep playing, but I was hooked a little too deep.
Use the right. Let Chris Taylor use the right setup. FX has all the setups you need.
Yeah.
Always throwing that in there. So, yeah, we'll figure it out. So anyway, that's the story. So we put that to bed. You can go watch the video. And now it's time to talk some Lake Lanier fishing and some of the adventures of FCP fishing. So,
all right,
you ready to do that?
Sure.
So let's jump right on it. How's the fishing been?
It's been awesome.
And what is your awesome or my awesome? There's a big difference.
Well, it's been awesome for me anyway. Doing really well with the stripers. Spots are starting to heat up.
Gotcha. You've been catching them a lot. I mean, and I guess how have you been catching them? Huh? There comes the producer. Well, I always talk to Josh when he gets up out of his seat. So we just want to make sure we're not in trouble there. So
I've been catching a lot of fish on a small swim bait right now.
Right.
It's been the hot bait for me lately here, especially the stripers.
The stripers. And now where have we been catching stripers at?
On the north part of the lake. Just find the bait and you'll find the fish.
Flat Creek is full of them right now.
What is?
Flat Creek is full of them right now.
Where is Flat Creek in relation to where you fish?
I'm further north than that.
You're further north than Flat Creek. Have you been seeing a lot of company up that way? A lot of guys trying to come up?
There's a lot of striper boats around, a lot of center consoles, a lot of guides. And then there's a lot of bass fishermen too. But if you watch any of my videos, especially the upcoming ones, I usually have it all to myself. So
oh really?
Yeah, I'm out there catching just fish after fish, and there's no one in sight.
Let's take a second too of that. And I should have had a banner put underneath. You guys can go, not right now, but after the show's over, go to YouTube and go to FCP Fishing. All right, look at his shirt. Can you pan onto his shirt there, Paul? FCP Fishing right there.
There you go.
All right, now that is Dana's channel. And now Dana does guide videos, but he puts his videos on there. In fact, pretty neat little factoid, as they say on oh heck, what's that? Oh, it's one of them shows my wife watches. What's the one with all the nerds on it?
I don't know. I don't
There's
have
a lot of those.
I don't have cable TV.
Huh?
So.
What, Paul? Jeopardy? No, not Jeopardy. The funny show. Got Shelton on it.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
Dummy.
You know, it says factoid. Hey, listen, I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
Blame everything on
You do
one.
all the music for your videos.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't know it, but he's a musician, but I would say a guitarist mostly. But you
Guitarist
do
first,
everything.
but I play every instrument on
Every
any music you
yeah.
hear on my channel. I play it all.
So that's pretty cool. Right there, yeah. If you look to follow him right there and check out his reports, FCP Fishing on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So I like Dana. His giggle when he catches one is my favorite.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So yeah. So Casey likes to giggle too, and so if he's saying that, then that's pretty good. So now, are you targeting stripers pretty much right now? You are targeting. So at this current, you're not going after spots, nothing. You are targeting stripers.
A lot of the lures that I use are not bass specific or striper specific. They'll catch anything, you know, like that swim bait will catch spots, largemouth, white bass, stripers, crappies, you name it.
How about the walleye?
It'll catch walleyes too.
Has it caught any yet?
No. I've been having the walleyes are up the river, you know, and I've having so much fun catching the stripers. I just haven't taken the time.
That is one cool thing about Dana is he's not bass only. I mean, you'll catch whatever's biting.
Man, I like catching them all. I like everything from bluegills to
he does. He does that. What is your personal best? Cooper McDonald wants to know.
My personal best striper.
Let's just go down the line. Maybe just talk about several different types.
My personal best striper is 35, which is hanging on my wall in my house.
Was that out Lanier?
That one was not. That was from Nebraska, but I've caught them over 30 in Lanier.
Okay. All right.
My personal best largemouth is 16 pounds. It's a big one. And that was caught on a private lake, which I will be fishing on my channel here soon.
Is that the one in North Carolina?
No, it's
the one in Georgia. Yes. Yeah. Okay. No, I remember you telling me about
we
that.
were invited back to go fish it, so I can't wait.
You weren't here with that.
When was that caught? A couple years ago? Recently?
No, it's been been way before I started my channel.
All right. What about spot?
Spot 5.5. I haven't broken the 6 pound barrier.
Out of Lanier?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And just because I like walleye, what's your biggest walleye?
Oh, I've caught walleyes over 10 pounds, but the big ones will always put them back, so I don't even weigh them.
Gotcha.
It's time to start catching them things up the river.
Yeah, they're up the river now.
They're biting.
Yep.
If you were going up the river to target walleye right now, what would you fish?
I think I would get a brightly colored Spro rock crawler and try that. I've been thinking that, bouncing it around on the river bottom there.
On the rocks,
I think that would work. Yeah. But usually if you're targeting walleyes, a lead head jig and a brightly colored twister tail grub is about as good as it gets.
Okay.
And if you're really serious about it, maybe tip it with a little night crawler.
Okay.
Walleyes love that little meat on the end of the
there you go for all you got. Now, what about though at nighttime or best part of the day? Because I know with their eyes, does it matter now that they're running up the river? With the sensitivity in the eyes and everything like that?
The current kind of breaks down the light penetration. So you can still catch them during the day. I mean, it's going to be better, early or late.
Right.
But you can catch them during the middle of the day.
Casey, he does have fun with all of it. So, and it is not just about competition because rarely do you ever fish a tournament. You don't fish tournaments at all, do you? No. It's just,
I upload 2 episodes a week.
Right.
And if Josh was here, he'd tell you, editing film is very time consuming.
Yes.
Right now, I don't have time to do anything but fish and, edit.
Are walleyes caught more at night? Maybe you can answer into that.
Depends on who's fishing for them. I mean, you can catch them during the day. I grew up fishing walleyes, and most of our fishing was done in the middle of the day. We caught plenty of fish.
Now that's out of Nebraska, but they were more prevalent there. So I'd imagine it shouldn't be too much different here, though.
Nah, it just depends on the day. There are low light feeders for the most part, but you can go catch them. Most of my river fishing for walleyes here, I go during the day.
Okay.
You don't want to be bouncing, wading around the river in the dark. I don't anyway.
That's true.
What part of the lake did you say that you mainly fish again?
The north part, up
Like
near
Laurel
Park in that area.
What is the river once you get up to the Olympic Park? What river is that?
That's the Chattahoochee.
That's a hooch.
And is it just straight, or is there a lot of bends and stuff?
There's
I've
a lot
only been
of
up there
bends.
one time.
Yeah,
That was a long time ago.
the further you go, the more bends there are.
That's what I thought. So it's eventually get pretty shallow up that way.
Yes,
so
you have to be very careful,
Really?
especially now. The lake's down about 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's stumps and rocks and stuff. You got to be careful.
Like I said, I've only been up there one time.
There's a lot of lower units, on the bottom
really?
out there. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What he's saying is a lot of money up
I
there.
I took my duck boat way back up in there about 5 years ago. That was the only time I've been back up there. Now I have fished for bass up around the Olympic Park. If you literally troll past the Olympic Park and shoot down that creek right beside it.
Yep.
Up underneath the bridge. I fished that. There's a lot of good fishing in there. But as far as going up, I've only been up through there one time.
You'll go up a little farther, you'll run into Don Carter, the Don Carter State Park,
Right.
which is a beautiful park. And there's good fishing around there. And if you know, the next major, I guess, milestone would be Lula Bridge, you know, and then you go past that and then you'll hit Belton Bridge. You can just
And
keep
at that
going.
point, though, you're pretty much in the river.
You're in the river.
Yeah, you're in the river.
Once you hit Lula, you're pretty much in the river.
Right. Joel Putman wants to know if you have any tips for a kayak, but let's just say I'm going to guess he's going to talk about two species being from your Lanier. We're going to talk about bass and then striped bass. Keep them separate. So if you got any tips for a kayak fisherman, you fish for kayak every once in a while, don't
I do.
you? All right. So maybe talk a little bit about, any tips that you could give him.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what he's asking. Any tips for kayak fishing for walleyes? Is that what you're thinking? Or just
let's go bass. Let's go bass right
Bass?
now. Yeah. If you were in a bass, because I imagine probably going to be closer to the bank. Are they fish moving up or anything like that right now?
they're getting close.
Right.
It just depends on where you're at, but you'll catch some fish. But there's a population of bass on Lanier that stays shallow all year long anyway.
Exactly. I've heard you say that several times.
You just got to find them.
And as far as a kayak, I mean, I have a Hobie Pro Angler, and that's what I like to fish for
Good
in flat water. If I'm in the river, I use a Jackson Coosa, which is more of a river boat. The Hobie's got fins, if you're going up there in shallow water and dragging rocks, it just doesn't work.
Right.
Plus it's so long, it's 14-foot boat.
Right.
Once you get in the current, you have to be able to turn quickly. Otherwise it'll dump you. So that's why I like
You like the Jackson better.
Oh yeah. The Jackson's a great little boat for,
Okay. All right.
and when we fish for walleyes, we'll put in way north and sometimes as far north, almost Helen, and we'll leave a truck downstream and then we'll float down. Any good looking area, we'll get out and wade, we'll
Right.
have waders and we'll fish it. That way if you're in the kayak, the current's moving you, to me, it's always better to get out and pick apart every little piece of structure. So
How long does it take to get from, say, when you're going on, I guess it's 115 going into Clarksville or whatever, it comes out of Cleveland and going into Clarksville, you cross the Chattahoochee from there to get down like the Belton Bridge.
oh, that's a long float.
Right. So
It-
that's but that's shoal bass territory, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
goes from trout to shoal bass. Do the walleyes get that far up?
Yeah.
All the way up to like Clarksville.
Oh yeah.
Really? How long of a float is that, you reckon?
Oh, that's a long float there. And if you're just going to float it straight without fishing much, you can do it in a day. But otherwise,
Oh,
see, I get out.
That's a camping trip if you're gonna.
Yeah, but you got to be careful. There's private property there, and it's pretty tough you get shot. If you're gonna.
No, but we don't want nobody getting shot. So don't.
There's
try
some
that.
homeowners that are not that friendly. So
I understand. So I would guess. So now let's get back down to on Lanier right now with the tips for the kayak. So if you were up north on the northern part of Lanier fishing what you're fishing right now, no specific species, you're throwing the swim bait. Got somebody in a kayak that's going to be throwing the same swim bait. What are you targeting right now? Structure wise,
rock, points. I 99% of the time, no matter what time of year, I'm fishing points.
I imagine the points are getting better and better day by day.
Right now, the fish are kind of staging on points. We're kind of in that winter to spring transition. There's a fall transition, there's a
Right.
spring transition, the way I
Right.
look at it anyway.
Okay.
And so they're starting to stage on these points, getting ready to move shallow.
Okay.
I'm still catching them fairly deep at times, but they're starting to build up on those points.
Those points. If
It's when
you
you take a DT10 and rip them down point.
a DT10, rip them down point. Okay.
A little deeper diver. Or if you're like me and you like to beat the
I don't know if
crap
you
out of
see that
rocks.
there.
Which one?
The guy says from Duncan Bridge to Belton Bridge takes about 8 hours. That's just from Duncan to Belton, and you were talking about up at the 115. So
Yeah.
that's about twice, that's a
Oh
long,
yeah,
that's a long
so
float.
that's a very long float for those. And I guess if you're not familiar with the Chattahoochee, probably not a float you need to make anyway. Again, like you were saying with the private property and all that kind of stuff.
well,
so.
and you need to be familiar with there's some fairly decent rapids at times
Okay.
going through there. You got to be, you got to know
a little bit. What you're
a
doing.
little bit what you're doing, or you're going to dump it.
Okay. All right. So let's just say that the fish up north right now are not hitting the swim bait that you're fishing. What's your, next best option for anybody right now wanting to fish?
For anybody, if I'm fishing Lanier and I'm not catching a fish on anything else, I'm going to fish a worm.
right.
If you can't catch a bass on a worm on Lanier, there you can't catch a fish.
Well, now listen,
So-
don't say that. Josh and I have proven that we've not been able to do
Just
that.
a straight-tailed worm.
It was also like 15 degrees, snowing, 20
It
mile an
doesn't
hour
matter.
winds, Danny.
It doesn't matter. But now he says jig or shaky head, Nathan. What's interesting is you fish Texas rig.
I'm a Texas
He
rig
is still
only.
old school Texas rig
Yep.
like that, which I find very interesting because not a lot of guys these days, especially when you talk Lanier.
That's exactly why I do it.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
just
how many shaky heads do you think those bass see in a year's time?
something-
And you go, maybe it makes no difference, but in my mind, it does. You
in
know,
your mind, it does. That's pretty interesting. Now, when you're throwing, okay, so when do you think the top water bite will get good?
well, interestingly enough, I am a huge topwater fan. I fish
He is.
topwaters all summer
Absolutely.
long, and I have caught my first topwater fish already. So the water, for it to really get cranking, the water
Right.
temperature needs to rise a little bit more. But
Okay.
once you get up 58 degrees or so, maybe 60, it'll be topwater time. Excuse me.
Now,
Yep.
what's your favorite top water bait?
I'm a chug bug guy. However, Spro sponsored us on
Right.
the guide, and their topwater lure is, I really like it. I've been fishing it a lot.
Which one did you get?
It is the EPOP
Yes.
80, I think
Yeah.
it's called.
And you like it?
Oh yeah, I love it. That's a really good lure.
And what color did you get? I remember there were certain ones. I think I ordered one, but I haven't fished with it yet.
Really, color hasn't made that much difference, but I like the bone white one. That's the
bone
best
white
one.
and
Yeah.
all that.
Now, with the chug bug you buy, you're going to have to switch out the hooks.
Right.
On that Spro bait, it's got gamakatsus on it already. You don't have to switch out any hooks.
That's perfect. Yeah, Alan, I know. As always, that standard whopper plopper. Danny loves the whopper plopper. And but I tell you what, I am ordering. I'm putting it in tomorrow.
What
a
is
whole bunch of chopos. Ain't that what they're called?
Yeah,
Berkeley's?
Berkeley Chopper.
Yep.
Freddie asked, what is a scrounger? So basically what a scrounger is you've got a ball head that's like a swim bait, but it's got a piece of rubber. And I guarantee you, I've got one probably tied on in the boat right now. But what it is, it's you got a metal ball head with a plastic, what shape would that be called? I guess like a,
It's like a crankbait lip.
yeah, it's got
basically.
kind of like a crankbait lip, but it's on the top of the head instead of the bottom. So what that thing is doing, it's wobbling like this, coming through the water. It's got like a kicking motion. Put a big boot tail on the back, or you can fish it with a straight fluke or anything like that. It's just giving the bait a different wobble. I'd start picking them up right now, pulling them down points, pulling them on a rock.
Let's see. First of all, again, Facebook user, there's a couple of you there. Make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and enter your name, because I'd like to call you something different than Facebook. Right here, Tiffany Griggs, my son has been watching your channel forever. He wants to catch a walleye out of Laurel Park. What should he do?
Well, thank you to your son for watching, first of all. Out of Laurel Park, you're going to have to time it correctly. The walleyes make a migration out of the main lake, heading north up the river to spawn. You kind of have to time it to when they're swimming by, for the most part. And you can catch them on the way back down as well.
But they're running up the hooch, right? Like out past the Olympic Park and all that. Is that where they're headed to?
Yeah, the hooch and the chastity. You catch
Okay.
them on
They
both
run up both,
sides.
yeah.
Yep. And I've caught them in Little River. I've caught them in a lot of the smaller tributaries as well.
Okay.
As far as telling you what he should do, that's a very tough question. Be prepared to be disappointed if you want to catch walleyes on Lanier. It is a hit or miss, and it is probably the hardest species to catch on Lanier.
The crazy thing is they stock thousands every year.
And there are, if I've been up the river and you can see them, there's thousands of them.
Really?
Oh, when they're spawning,
Really?
Yeah.
How do things spawn? They kind of like a salmon. They'll just kind of get up there and swim with the current to drop their eggs, or do you know how it works?
No,
Or-
they'll go up, and you got to have a gravel bottom is what I
Yeah.
look for.
Right.
And the males will go up and hang in there, and the males are a lot smaller.
Mhm.
The females hang in the deeper holes, and they only come up at a certain point,
I guess just to lay their eggs
night
and
maybe
get
or
out.
whatever. And but as far as when all this happens, it changes every year, and it changes day to day, to be honest with you.
So you can catch them like a bedfish, then, couldn't you?
When you can see them, they're hard. They can see you. They're hard to catch. I mean, they are tough to catch.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I
mean,
might
I-
something I try. If
Huh?
I can find some, that'd be fun.
It would be fun to try. Somebody want to know why you change out your trolling, the hooks on the chug bug.
On the chug bug,
Yeah.
because they're very soft hooks. They're very sticky, but they're very soft.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many fish have bent them out. I've lost stripers. I've lost big bass.
Right.
I just like, and if I'm going to throw a chug bug now, I'll just buy the saltwater ones, which have a heavier hook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. Okay. So, yeah, so I hope we answered that question, Tiffany, as best as we can. Again, with and I don't know that it's so much an accident, Eric. Eric put like it's an accident caught.
No,
fish.
you can, if you're willing to put in the time and the
Yes.
effort, you can catch them. I mean, it can happen, but I'm telling you, it's a lot of work.
Check it out. She's going, I'm gonna let my son type because I have no idea. So yeah, go ahead and let him type.
I imagine if guys are probably targeting the walleye with some kind of live bait, is probably a better success rate because it's live bait, like anything else.
What would you live bait fish with?
Hell, I don't know, blue herring, something. Because they're a predator, right? Walleye's predator.
They are.
They are, but I mean, I'm not an expert at catching.
If they're a big predator fish,
I don't use live bait ever.
I don't
so
either.
I can't
What do you catch more walleye? Well, sorry, I mean, without your secret bait,
a jig head and a
just a
curly
jig head and a
grub.
curly
That's all
tail
it
grub.
takes. It's very simple. Now you're fishing in the river, so you're gonna lose a lot of them because there's stumps and rocks and stuff.
and
But
all
that's
that,
what
yeah.
you got to do. You know.
I wonder if
Okay.
them things hang out on green lights during summertime.
I've caught them down the south part of the lake. My best day on for walleyes was on Lanier, and it was right down there by Lake Lanier Islands. I caught
Oh, really?
7 in one day. And now this has been
Wow.
15 or 20 years ago, but I caught 7 in one day, and they were I believe they were trying to spawn on the rocks at that point. So
Okay, was that during the daytime though?
right in the middle of the day.
Right in the middle of the day. So, Jeremiah, walleye spawn when water temps are in the upper 40s. So I imagine they've been shallow
They've probably
for a
already
minute
spawned
now.
out. Then, if that's the case.
Yeah, they're still up there.
And they got big teeth, Kevin Chadwick says. So yes, they do, but they sure are tasty. So
They are delicious.
everybody knows that, definitely for sure. Now,
Didn't they put those things in or started stocking them a lot more in Lanier to help with the
They're native.
bait?
They're native to the Chattahoochee is why they keep stocking them. They want to keep them in Lanier because they're native to the Chattahoochee, which is interesting. I never knew that before I came to Georgia. But they stock the heck out of them. And you know, they spend a lot of money stocking them too. I love walleyes, but to me, the money spent to stock walleyes would be better spent on something people could catch.
Put some largemouth in the lake, boys. Come on, put some
Largemouth.
F1s in there.
Put hybrids in there.
Put some F1s.
you like
in it.
hybrids?
Oh yeah.
Well, let me ask you, how has the largemouth bite been for you so far this spring? If
So
we could
far,
call it this spring, you know,
we've
year.
caught a few. I have better success with largemouths in the summer for whatever reason.
But you
right?
haven't been. You don't fish shallow, so right.
No,
I do some.
yeah.
You know,
But
it
like
depends.
the flipping bite, dock bite. You said you
I
didn't
don't.
do it.
I'm not a dock fisherman,
Yeah,
and
that's
again, I fish differently than most guys.
he
you know.
does. It's and that's what's kind of interesting is all these guys get in these bass tournaments and all that, and they go do all these other things, and it's almost exactly the opposite of what you
It
did.
is.
But you catch fish consistently on
yeah.
Lanier, so it's
Well,
pretty.
it's not just
interesting.
Lanier. No,
No, it's not.
I
No,
fish
it's not.
everywhere.
That's yeah. We're gonna talk about some of them other lakes for sure. But right now, when was the last time you fished Lanier? That was
This morning.
This morning. What was the water temp in Lanier?
52 is what we found this morning. We just fished in the morning, so
Right.
I mean, it might have warmed
Where's
up a
he at?
little. We were up there near Laurel Park.
Near Laurel Park. Okay. So have you seen any signs of anything moving up to bed pre-spawn? What do you, as
We've
far
been
as the
doing
bass?
pretty well for spots, and we caught a few largemouth using a Spro rock crawler, throwing up shallow and bouncing it through the rocks.
Right.
And they're, you know, we're catching them fairly shallow.
So you
doing
think,
that.
so they're moving up. This little bit of warmth has got them. Coming
Yeah,
up.
not it's. I haven't seen a whole lot of it though. I mean, I'm still catching some on my, my jig that I make. I'm still catching some in 20 and 30 feet of water too. So
Of the, just say out of every hour you fish on Lanier, what percentage is deep? What percentage is shallow?
depends on the day. It just,
How about today?
today we what did we do today? I caught a good one on my jig, and that fish was in about 15 feet of water on a point.
Uh-huh.
And then we caught several others on the crankbait up shallow. So just depends,
Okay. All right. So Tiffany's son, I guess, is on now. Do you think the spots are starting to move up?
They are
on
starting.
points?
Starting, yes.
All right. So you're seeing them a lot in what, 15 foot shallower, or when you say moving
Right
up?
now, I'm fishing around bait. And again, I'm not specifically fishing only for bass. What I throw
Yeah,
generally,
right.
it's a multi-species
Right.
kind of a lure. So I can catch stripers white bass and spots and largemouth. So I'm following the bait.
Let's see what the boss wants. You want me?
No, I want him.
Blake, he wants you. So go.
To come to you?
No, to move your freaking mic.
Move your mic. You're
What are you talking?
You're trying to get your mic out away from your face. Or just get up in Danny's pocket.
Hey.
What he's trying to do
Nick.
is get to where you show up on camera and the
And
mic's
that's how
not
I
like-
had it earlier. And he's like, you gotta move the mic. That's bad.
Danny,
what you
by the
doing?
way, this Epic Boys Fishing.
Yep.
Nick Dupree. I don't know if you know him.
I do. I follow him. I see him on the
He'd be a
page
good
all the
guy to
time.
have on the channel. He's a good guy.
Okay, well there you go, Nick. We'll send out an invitation to you. Yeah, he does some good fishing, and he always has his kids with him.
And these kids can catch fish
There you
too.
go. That's what's pretty good. Are you fishing shallow on a bluebird sky? Maybe docks and cover, and out deeper over on overcast.
Not necessarily. It just depends on the day. I catch them in bluebird skies shallow all the time.
I'm telling you, Kevin, this guy's different. He does everything he does is a little bit different than
See,
what is a normal.
Like right now, every day I'm shallow. If I was on the lake, if my boat wasn't down, I'm like 5 foot or less. Just because I'm targeting the big largemouth that's pulled up.
Okay.
Bluebird skies, like
But you're targeting largemouth. He's targeting whatever.
I'm
bite.
not targeting. Yeah. I'm going to catch big largemouth, big spots. He's like I said, he's wanting to catch a little bit of
Yeah,
everything.
but see, that, to me, if I were to do that, I'd be missing out on a lot of big schools of bass. You know, I catch a lot of big schools of bass where I'll catch 20 and 30 setting on one point, you know, in 20 or 30 feet of water.
Yeah.
I love doing that. I
Right.
love that deep fishing.
Bill Holcomb, yes, your name is now showing up. New to the show and love it. Georgia born and raised, Semper Fi. Hey, that's awesome, man. We appreciate it. Cooper McDonald, you know anyone catching fish in ditches right now?
I think everybody's catching fish and dishes.
So they're
right
still there.
especially on the south end.
On
On
the
the
south
northern end, it's kind of burning out because the water's starting to heat up. But south end, you can still catch them.
They're still there.
They're still there.
Even up north. There's if you find the right ditch, of course.
Right. Okay, so Tiffany Griggs. At this point, Cole Griggs is asking questions because I have no idea what he's talking about. And that's a good job. Just let old Cole take over and let him run the show, and we will make sure his questions get on there. Brian Stradley, great information. And it is. And we always enjoy when Dana's going. And again, FCP Fishing on YouTube. You got to go over and give him a subscribe twice a week at least. He's dropping videos. Again, he does his own music on the videos like we talked about earlier today, and just a pretty cool dude all around. So Dusty Diamond, they will eat a rig. Yeah. So right now, I'm assuming he's going to be talking about the walleyes.
A-rig.
Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Since we were
Yeah,
talking about walleyes,
But an
anything
A-rig is
A-rig.
like, to me, that's like throwing a Volkswagen. It's just too heavy.
it is
you
a
know?
lot of
For
work.
me, I'm a finesse guy, so I'm using one little tiny lure where everybody's using these big
That's
things,
it.
so.
Here's this is what's interesting. We always have this conversation. So he throws his rigs, his worms, Texas rig, and he does fish. He likes his top water, but when he fishes deep, most of the time it's finesse, and he makes a special jig. You'll have to go watch his videos and kind of see if you can get a little picture of it.
A jig? Do you mean like a
He ain't gonna
archy
tell
head
you.
jig, or is it like a
No.
shaky head jig?
Neither. I mean, it's
So
it's like a
okay.
bucktail, similar.
Oh, yeah,
It's
okay,
similar,
okay.
but I catch them shallow with that too. It works everywhere.
Besides the herring spawn, what's your favorite time of year to fish Lanier? Or is it even?
Oh man, I love the
Yeah.
winter time. We're right in the middle of my favorite time
That
to
is
catch fish
right,
on
yes.
Lanier. It's the last couple of months I have done really well on Lake Lanier. I mean, I've caught more fish than I should,
Yeah, but does that jig that you talked? Does it work on other lakes as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
All
I
over
know.
the country.
I know it does.
It works. Just watch my channel. If you watch the Alabama videos and Hartwell, I've got some couple Nebraska videos. It works.
Yeah, and
It's-
we're going to talk about a couple of these other lakes. Like you made a trip out to Logan Martin,
Oh, yeah.
and wasn't that the one you fished last, or what was it in Alabama?
Logan Martin was the last one.
Logan
I've been there a
Martin.
couple times since then.
So if you're fishing on a super windy day, how do you approach it?
How do I approach it?
Mm.
I like to have a windy day. It makes the bite better.
Okay.
And now you may have to go to a little bit heavier jig or a heavier swim bait or whatever, but I always fish the lightest weight I can get away with.
Okay.
The slow fall is the key for the way I like to fish anyway.
Now, when you throw your swim bait, Are you know, we're talking about like a 3.3 Kitech, stuff like that?
Similar.
Similar. Now, are you letting it go all the way to the bottom, or are you bringing it through the water
Depends
column?
on where the fish are.
So
You know,
you
usually
mark them first, and
yeah,
then
if
okay.
if it's a school of stripers that are suspended, you know, underneath the bait or whatever, I'll throw it and count it down, and then just work it back slow.
Okay, all right. There
You
go.
know, you got to get the cadence or the speed of the what they want. You got to figure that out, you know.
Right.
But half the battle is finding the fish.
Is finding the fish. What kind of electronics you got on your boat?
Man, I've got an old boat. I've got old electronics. I don't have any side scan. I don't have any waypoints. You don't really need that. I mean, I would love to have it, but
Right.
I got old Lowrance units that have been on my boat since I got it, and I just haven't spent the money to upgrade.
But you're just comfortable with it. You know what you're looking at.
Oh yeah.
So
you don't need to have a $80,000 bass boat and $5,000 electronics. You don't have to do it that way, you know?
Right. Right.
No need.
What's your go-to swim bait head size?
Just depends on the day. I've used a 1/2 ounce. I usually don't go much heavier than a 1/2 ounce.
Okay.
And usually it's an 1/8 ounce, which, you know, it's about the slow. You can throw an 1/8 ounce swim bait if there's a school of stripers, especially, and it doesn't sink very fast at all, and it almost kind of hovers. You know, it's almost like a jerk bait that just kind of sits there and doesn't, you know, it just suspends. It's like a suspending jerk bait kind of. So anyway,
And they crush it.
oh man, watch the video coming up on Thursday. You'll see some.
So okay, there you go again. FCP fishing on YouTube. So you got a question before we take a little bit of a break there, Blake, before we get going?
Yeah, Cooper McDonald said they caught a 30-pound bag on Chestatee River with 5. What year was that? I'd like to know. Or how long ago was that?
And were they? I guess they're going to be largemouth. We talking largemouth? Or you talking about? Or is you talking about walleyes?
If they caught a 30-pound bag of spots, I think that would have made Geo win, and everybody'd still be talking about it. 30-pound bag on Lanier, or to still be talked about.
Has there ever been a 30-pound?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
have no idea.
I mean,
so.
the biggest bag I think I
like
ever
5
seen.
years ago. And what was the fish there, Coop?
Largemouth.
Largemouth.
See, I
Okay.
could believe that. Then.
Yeah, because I know like Strayhorn and them had like 27 or something.
That was like 2 years
ago. So that's
and they
very-
caught that during
that's
the bed
very
fishing
well,
tournament.
yeah.
So. But like,
within the realm of
Yeah,
possibility.
there are some big fish over on the Chestatee.
oh, there's giants. You just gotta find them.
Okay, all right. So guys, we were just fishing, and that's the way it normally happens.
Mm.
My best 5 fish ever on largemouth at Latham was just crappie fishing. With
Man,
a crappie
Jacob
jig.
caught a 30-pound bag on Chickamauga and was just messing around.
And good because I'm going up to the Chestatee. Maybe they're still alive.
We've been
So,
doing good up on the Chestatee.
up on the Chestatee.
Rock crawler is your friend.
That was 5 years ago. Them
You
fish
tar-
are
you
either
targeting-
dead or gone.
You targeting rock
Yes,
up on the
rock,
Chestatee?
rock points.
Okay. All right. So you guys have had some great questions. Keep them coming in. I'm about to die. Do I have something? Look at me. Have I got like one of my mustache hairs turning upside down?
Like going into your nose.
Yeah, dude, it's
You've got
killing
like 2 or 3 on this side.
It is killing me.
It's like right at the.
Right at the base of my
Yeah.
nose.
You're good now. There.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Man, I'm over here like dying. I'm like something's killing me. And every time he goes to a wide shot, I'm over here scratching my nose like I got a habit. So anyway,
Look, this
what is
guy
that right there?
He fishes with my dad, evidently.
Okay, and what let's see. Danny, your dad and I catch we're gonna say stripers.
No, it's wipers.
Oh, good
It's
grief.
a hybrid. In Nebraska, we call them wipers. Half white bass, half striper. It's a wiper.
Wipers on fly rods in Nebraska, and it's amazing. Any striped bass fly rod fishing in the rivers there.
Oh, yeah.
That and then Henry on Lanier.
I've got a couple
Yeah.
of friends that I know out there that
Wipers.
they're fly rod guys. We kind of help each other out from time to time. If I'm on a school of fish, I'll call them over or whatever. So yeah,
No, Joseph, it ain't that, son. I promise you.
How you like that new boat, Joseph?
Yeah, that's your nose hairs, Danny. Listen, it's killing me, guys. So, all right, let's do this. You guys, before we really go crazy on my nose and my itching nose, let's the 8 to 12 rock crawler. Is that what you're throwing?
it's the 55.
55. Okay.
I think it's 9 to 14. I think is
9
what it
to
is,
14. Okay, yeah, that's about it. So here's what we're going to do. As you know, every episode we do Blake's poetic reading, but this time we're going to do something just a little bit different.
I actually got to sing this one.
Yes, he's actually going to sing this, and I'm changing the rules up just a little bit because I want to make sure that Blake sings enough to where it's entertaining to me.
Yeah, to you. It's not to the audience. It's to you.
The audience is going to love
they
this
get-
if you actually put some effort into it and sing.
And if I don't,
If you don't get to come back. You're fired.
Okay. Then.
So you're gonna sing, ain't you?
You'll miss me when I'm gone.
No, not really. You're gonna sing. I know you ain't going nowhere. So here's the deal. Blake's gonna sing the song, and
The thing is, guys, Danny picks shitty music.
hey, watch your mouth now. Listen,
Shitty.
I know, but still, I know we got a kid watching. So watch your mouth. I'm gonna kick you underneath the table really hard. So here's the deal. I do pick music that I find entertaining to watch you read or stuff like that. So Blake's gonna sing this song. Now here's the difference in what we're gonna do. Normally I ask you to name the artist and the title of the song. I'm already gonna tell you right now. The name of the song is "Call Me Maybe" by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yes.
Jepsen, or it has
Call me baby.
Call me maybe. Call me maybe.
Yeah.
So that's the song. And Blake's going to start singing it. All right. But here's what's going to happen. Until we get, he's 14, it'll be all right. Okay, Tiffany. I just want to make sure you never
Danny
know.
picks shitty music.
Hey, watch it.
Okay. He fixed
So, yeah. So anyway, he's going to start singing, and it's not Freebird.
it.
Always
I wish.
somebody says Freebird.
Man, I can't tell
wish.
you how many times I've heard that.
So here's what's going to happen. At a certain point in the song, down underneath the banner where it says Fishing for Warriors, you guys see it scrolling across the bottom. At a certain point in the song, Paul is going to press a button, and the question that I want answered is going to appear right there. The thing is, Blake is going to continue singing this song until somebody gets it right. Okay? And then if you get it right, I'm going to What'd we do here, Paul?
We're going down. Wi-Fi's back.
Wi-Fi is going down. Everybody's jumping on right now. So, are you ready to do this?
I guess.
I wish I could do. If copyright wouldn't get me, I'd do some background music or some karaoke. What if I pull the karaoke? Would that kill us if I pull the karaoke music up?
Yes.
Would it?
Yes.
Okay. Are you gonna sing this?
This is probably gonna be a one-time thing, but I'll do it just to make you happy.
Will you sing it right?
There's lyrics. How else you supposed to sing it?
Like in beat and rhythm.
I don't know about all. You're asking too much now. I'm already making a fool of myself.
You are, but that you
Exactly,
do that.
I am.
It doesn't matter. People look forward to this segment. There's 102 people watching you right now.
Okay.
So I want you to,
I might get lockjaw about halfway through.
Paul, about halfway through the chorus, put the question up. All right.
Well, the chorus is about three
It's down there. a
It's
ways.
down there.
three
ways.
things up.
But here's the thing:
from
is
what's
you don't
said.
listen. You don't stop singing until we get a right answer.
Are you my daddy?
Right
is
now,
now.
I am.
Oh, really?
Now let's go.
Okay.
Here we go. Sing it right, man. Here we go. Here we go.
I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell. I looked to you as I fell, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, penny dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. Your stare was holding. Okay. Ripping jean skin was showing.
Your
Hot
stare
night
was
winds
holding.
when
Rip,
blowing.
Skeen, and Joe. Come on,
Here,
now let's
okay,
go. Sing.
I'm singing. I'm
Sing.
slow reader. When you think you're going, baby, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's my number, so call me ladies. It's hard to look right now at you, baby, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. So call me maybe. See, it ain't no fun when you're saying
Keep
the same
singing.
thing
Keep
over and
singing.
over.
Keep singing.
And all the other boys try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me baby. Hate you. All right, push that thing because it's
He has.
line.
Keep singing.
You took your time with the call.
Come on, sing.
Please stop. Let's see, my stomach's killing me. Exactly, mine too. I took time to fall. You gave me nothing at all, but you're still in my way. I beg and borrow to steal. At first sight, it isn't real. I don't know how I'd feel, but it is in my way. Your stare was holding. Ripped jeans was still showing. Hot night wind was blowing. When you think you're going, baby, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But call me maybe. So you gonna make me keep going?
Yes, I do. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh my God. It's hard to look right now at you, baby. So here's my number. So call me maybe. Repeat it again. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. They've already answered this shit. Y'all
No,
sitting
they
there
haven't
making-
answered the
There's
question.
answers on the thing.
But it's not right. It's not the right day or month or year. The year's right on some, but they ain't getting it. And you're getting close, Cooper. Sing, dummy. Come on, sing. Sing. You're killing my spot
Hey,
here.
I just met you. This is crazy. So here's my number. So call me maybe. I'm going to the next verse. Can't say shit. Before you came in my life, I missed you so bad. I missed you so bad. I missed my
Did we
boat
get it?
so bad.
Can we just give this to Tiffany?
Yes.
I mean,
Let's
seriously.
do-
Hey, listen, at this
Please,
point,
never make me do
Please,
this again.
let's give it to somebody.
look, you're getting booed, dude.
Dude, poetic reading is so much better than this.
Well, hell, that's all you did. You really didn't.
I sang that, dude. I was singing the harmony of that song.
Harmony. You call that harmony.
Whatever it's called, I was going with the beat of the song. I'm done.
All right. So, what is the right answer there? What is the right answer? There, please, Paul.
Y'all got 50. Y'all made me sing over.
I had to pick. Now we're giving it. We're giving it.
29th, but we settled for the 24th.
It is the 29th of April 2012. Now, here's where you're lucky. I was going to be a 2-part question. It's Step Brothers. That's right. I was going to make them put and what day and month and year did it go double platinum, which at the rate you were going, you'd been starting back over at the beginning of the song. But
That's how fast the song is. It's a hip hop song. It's quick.
you call that hip hop.
That's what that song is. Listen to it on the radio.
I know it. And what you did was not the song
How
I
about
heard
you
on
do
the
the
radio.
next one then? And I'll pick the stupidest song I'm fine. You sing it.
Okay.
Fine. Deal.
Deal.
I'm there. I'm poetic reading
I
like this.
listen, Josh Davis. I think Dana wishes he was fishing.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
So anyway, listen, I'll give you a valiant effort, but oh, that was terrible.
What else do you expect?
Well, I expected terrible. That's what I was going
So
for.
you got what you was looking for.
I got exactly
You made
what I
me
was
look
looking-
like a fool.
Kevin Chadwick. I knew it was Freebird.
Like, you made me look like a fool. You got your laughs.
I didn't make you look like a.
No.
Why so sensitive? Look at him. See, you're acting like the word poon comes to mind right now. So quit being that.
You say
Okay.
that, but I can't say.
That's right. I'm the host of the show. I can get away with it. So there you go. Just turn around. Look at you.
I know my rights.
You know your rights.
There ain't no
Look,
contract.
Jeremiah
side to
Giles,
this.
he said hip hop. I told
Yeah.
you Blake is banned. It wasn't hip hop. What he meant to say was pop. right.
Whatever.
It's not hip hop. Tim White, hit me up, Blake. We will find Danny a song.
Sounds
So
good, Tim.
I will give it more of a effort than that, though. So call me baby.
You want a round of applause?
Huh? I can do it. I can do it. So,
Do
but
it.
you won't be
wanna
here.
sing it?
You won't be here Thursday.
Oh no,
so
we'll wait till Tuesday next week when I'm here.
I'm gonna let you pick a song there.
Yeah, we
We'll do
will.
it. All right, so let's get back.
Let's
It
talk
is
some
awful.
fishing.
I know it was awful, but that's still funny. And again,
It's funny to
um,
you.
it is funny, and that's why I'm here. That's why I like doing it. So we're gonna make sure who was it, Mrs. Griggs? Make sure your son you gave up your rights when you started that song.
Yeah, is it that right? Like revoke my man
that
card.
is it. So please, if you will, go to Fish North Georgia on Facebook, and you can message us your address. I will make sure that your prize pack will get in the mail, and we will definitely do. You do fish better than you sing,
That is true.
so that's good.
Hey,
so
my boat's about finished, so I'm gonna be able to go fishing.
he's going to be able to go fishing. So that's perfect. So, all right, now that we had a little fun at Blake's expense, funny to all but the one at the end of the joke. That's it. We understand that. So you're very much welcome. Thank you guys for playing. And again, you got to have to come up with a question too. So, and let Paul know. So not only do you got to pick a song, you got to pick a question. For people to do that. So anyway, thank you guys for playing. And now let's get back to talking about fishing and back with Dana Smith here at FCP. And
boat isn't broke. I'm just putting sea deck in it. I ripped all my carpet out. Got tired of it. Put sea deck in it.
but you really haven't been able to be on the water though for a while. You've
No,
been
the
on
only
that boat.
the only thing I've done has been fishing the pond that I have beside the house. That's it. Crappie fishing a little bit, but I haven't. As far as being out on the lake, it's been like a month. It's been so cold. My boat's not in a closed garage. So
Good question. If you were headed to Allatoona tomorrow, what would you be targeting and where?
Is he asking me?
Yeah, that's
Oh
a
man, I'd
question
be
for
hitting
you.
points again, and I'd use the same stuff I use on Lanier.
He doesn't.
I really like Alatoona. I catch a lot of fish there too.
Now,
Swim bait would work great. You know what? That Spro rock crawler would be awesome on Alatoona.
Now, what color rock crawler are you throwing for the bass? I noticed you said something about a real bright one if you were targeting the walleye.
Yeah.
But right now, are you in your green pumpkins, your reds? What are you throwing?
I like if you've caught any fish on Lanier lately that spit up a crawdad, they've got orange on them. It better have orange on it.
Better have orange on it. Okay.
Fall crawl, true grit tackle.
True grit fall crawl. We got that. And you know what's funny is that's the same color that I had luck on back even before Christmas. So I think just the whole winter
in the fall, summer months, I like a blue. It has to have blue in it if I'm throwing a jig or a craw of some sort. But in the spring, it better have. And to me, this is spring.
Mm-hmm.
We're still, we're getting to spring.
Right.
I like orange, maybe a little red.
What when you do throw a jig, what makes you pick up a jig?
When the bass tell me they want it.
Okay,
but I do fish a jig quite a bit.
Now, when you say the bass tell you that they want it, what is that?
Fall I do. In colder months I do really well with the jig.
Okay, so it's not a summertime.
You can catch fish on a jig all year long.
But that's not when you target them.
That's not when I do. Yeah.
Okay.
And I use I don't go any heavier than a 1/4 ounce. Most everybody else does, but I just use a 1/4 ounce for the most part.
On the 1/4 ounce. So that's right. You like to go light. Facebook user, what did I miss? Besides they're eating Chattahoochee crawls about 3-inch. That's kind of about what I've been hearing. But make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and put your name in there. FCP is the fish whisperer. How do you like that when somebody says that?
I mean, it's flattering.
Flattering? Yeah, it is pretty cool. Are you throwing a jerk bait any?
I haven't thrown a jerk bait in years.
What?
No, I don't. I catch plenty of fish. Like I said, I fish differently than most.
He does.
I'm not saying my way is the only way either. I'm sure Blake goes out and catches them his way, but I don't need to fish a jerk bait.
Do you not like fishing them, or you just don't pick them up?
I don't really like a crankbait either, but I mean, I do throw them, but I hardly, I don't care to.
Oh, I know now who that is. That is Harmon. Got to be. It's either Harmon or Corey on Facebook user there. So how you doing, buddy? Derek White wants to know what swim bait you throwing.
What swim bait I'm throwing is one I make. I do make my own baits a little, but any swim bait will work. Just pick a brand, really. It's more about the size.
3.3 Kitech, Strike
Kitech will work.
Electric Shad.
Really
That's all you need.
The ones that you're making, are they similar in size to a 3.3, or do you have a specific size you like? I mean, your mold just real close, about like that.
3.5 inch, something like that.
Jeremiah feels like you're not giving all the answers. Actually,
no, Jeremiah, you don't give all your secrets either, brother.
I like when you ask him to look for fish in the water. I like that.
That's exactly
good.
right.
That's good.
Listen, if we're being honest,
who started the Keltec craze? Keltec's been going on for years.
What are we talking about? Where you at?
Derek White.
Derek White.
I feel like the big part of the Keltec that hit Lanier, locals been throwing the Keltecs and stuff like that for years on Lanier, but once the FLW came a couple years ago, and it was early winter and everybody was throwing the Keltecs, it just blew it out of proportion. Now everybody is doing it.
That's true.
And then the Bassmasters came the following year, and it was one down by the dam doing the same thing, just on a fish head.
That's why I make my own. I make little changes.
Mm-hmm.
Subtle changes can sometimes make a big difference.
Oh, that's true. I mean, look when the Bassmasters come, he won that on the Do It Molds underspin mold that he makes. But he wasn't putting an underspin on it. He was just making the head, and he was also pouring his pouring his own stuff with Do It Molds.
Right.
If y'all are into like making your own stuff or wanting to try, check out Do It Molds. They make, I think it's $40 to $50 for the molds.
Mm-hmm.
Find you some lead. Whatever you do not use tire weight lead. Horrible pour, hard to clean. Nasty stuff.
I know. I've heard
plenty
that.
out of tire weights. The old ones anyway.
I hate that new stuff. It's just
now.
horrible.
You go boot tail or straight?
It's a paddle tail. What I call a paddle tail,
right.
Anyway. And you know what? You can go out with just a jig head and the little flat fluke, and do pretty much what I do with my jig. It works the same way. It may not be quite as good as my jig, but it will work.
Michael Temples, no, I don't guess. Do you sell any of your bait? or would you?
Maybe at some point, but at this point, with my upload schedule and the editing, that's pretty much all I do.
He's
You know?
keeping
That's right.
secrets. Don't let him.
Well, no, he tells you right now.
He winked. He winked across the
winked.
table.
Well, he's not going. He's not going to tell you the colors and nothing like that. But you did. I mean, you did say when we're talking about you throw Texas rig.
Yep.
You throw a lot of just straight worms. Not a lot
I
of
do.
curly tails on straight worms.
I never use a curly tail.
Never use a curly tail. So there you go. So you've got that, and you use a swim bait. You like to do that. You search, and you don't fish for any specific thing. I tell you what, if you were going to target spots tomorrow on Lanier, you got to go target 5 spots. Get them in the boat by 9 a.m.
I'll be throwing a Spro rock crawler
Spro rock crawler right
just
now.
because recently I've done well with it.
Okay, so that is the hot thing right now. The jig that you
everybody's
make is a
doing
hair jig or silicone jig, and is that what you're throwing your
I
swim
make
baits
both.
on?
I do make a bass jig, I guess you'd call it,
Right.
Kind of similar to what you guys make. You know,
Yep.
and my hair jig is different. But I know when I'm throwing a swim bait, it's just on a plain old round-headed
Yeah, you use a ball head.
ball head works better for me because it has a roll.
Where are you getting your hair at? It's hard for me to find. Are you ordering offline? I can't find any local anywhere. I've been looking at Cabela's and stuff.
Ball head jigs?
No, hair jig stuff.
Oh, hair jig
Yeah.
stuff. Okay.
Because
yeah.
they will eat it on there.
Do you play different music for your intros? Or do you use the same one every time?
I do have several. If you go back and there's lots of different music on there. But lately I've stuck with the same one just because I haven't had time to write anything. Just
that's
it's
tough.
time consuming.
Speaking of fluke, have you been fishing a fluke lately?
Not lately.
When will you normally start picking a fluke up?
Throw a fluke on a Carolina
Springtime
rig.
and summertime. Early spring when they're starting to move up is great fluke time for me.
Weightless, weightless, like that.
5-aught hook.
Do you ever? Because Blake just mentioned. Do you ever throw one on a Carolina rig?
I don't.
You don't.
Right now, go hit some points with one on Carolina rig.
Okay, so yeah, tire weights do what you do. You got to work and melt the impurities out of it. So let's see, Fish North Georgia would be a great place to start selling some of your homemade baits. Yeah, we'll talk.
If when I get to that point, me and Danny will be having a talk.
Yeah, we will. So no ribbon tail, Dana.
I don't use one. I mean, if I'm fishing a pond or something that has largemouths, I might.
Right.
But for the most part, I fish Lanier. Lately.
Right. Now, 6-inch, 6.5-inch.
I like it. The worm I make is a 6-inch straight tail worm.
Straight tail worm.
It's a little bit bigger than a Zoom finesse,
Right.
But it's smaller than a trick worm, It's
Gotcha.
kind of in between.
All right. So that's pretty interesting. Let Blake write your songs. No, we're not going to do that. There's not going to be any recording music, at least on this side of the table, anytime soon. What's the furthest lake down? Furthest down the lake do you fish?
Well, right now, I usually don't venture past Brown's Bridge. I just
No need to.
don't feel the need. Now, I fished all the way down at the dam. I've caught one of my biggest spots down there
Right.
years ago, and I love it down there. It's just, I live on the north part, and it's just easier for me to just, I can get to the boat ramp from my house in less than 2 minutes. So,
Okay.
That's awesome.
What do you find to be the ideal situation to catch your biggest spots, time of year and stuff like that? So mostly in the wintertime, you catch your biggest spots, or
boy, I catch big spots all year long, really,
You got those ones that come up shallow and spawn and they'll lose their gut. And then you got the ones
I catch
down
some
deep.
monsters throwing a topwater during the middle of the summer too. Just
It's weird with the spots, man. You got some that come up, they'll lose their gut when they spawn. And you got the ones that stay deep year round and they'll stay fat year round.
right. Well, I guess it just depends on the actual lake. Yeah, I mean, actual fish. So each fish would be a little bit different. So, let's see, looking for a couple other questions there. Carolina rig, Texas rig, or shaky head. Do you feel that it makes that big of a difference?
does for me.
Yeah.
I prefer
Every
Texas
technique is
rig.
different with that.
Yeah.
I mean, a shaky head ain't going to work like a Texas rig.
No, all three of those are completely
yes,
different.
totally different techniques.
So, and you like the Texas rig the best. I would say Blake probably shaky head the best.
Hell no, don't even pick a shaky head up.
You don't? I love shaky heads.
I never throw one.
I'll throw a Texas rig. I like to throw a Texas rig on like Gunnersville and Chickamauga and stuff like that. I'm not a real big Carolina rig guy. I'll throw a Carolina rig on Chickamauga, Gunnersville, stuff like that.
Okay. So when summer comes around, do you move more down towards the river forks and duck it, or do you stay up the rivers?
I would answer that with a yes. I fish all of them. Just
That's true.
it just depends on the day. And you know what? Sometimes I just feel like fishing new water, and I'll just go check it out.
When do you think they'll be bedding?
That just depends on the weather. There's no way to.
It is a tough question.
There's no way to.
If the weather stays how it is, you could see fish bedding next weekend. Middle of next week. It's gonna.
I personally think that's a little early, but you never know. They're going to start moving up. I don't think they've fully committed to moving up yet.
It's going to be 80 degrees on Saturday. And the nights are in that 50, 55 range. Keeps the water a little
Now, here's
warmer.
an interesting question. And here's an interesting thing. Before we go any further, you're talking about temperature, and Bill Payne was talking about the length of days.
To me, the length of the day makes more difference.
Length of the day, moon phase, it all runs together, really. But I'll tell you this, Lanier, if you're wanting to start looking for fish, start running up Lower Park and all that, those are going to be the first ones to move up. Once you stop seeing them, move to the mid lake. Once the mid lake's done, move to the south then. They all
that
don't
would
come
make
up on the same
sense. I
time.
mean, that would make sense that they would stage differently like that. So
time changes Sunday.
Yeah, time change. Let's see. So I was at it. Yeah, do you watch the moon phases or the pressures when you fish?
I do pay attention, especially to the barometric pressure. My dad taught me that years ago. I do pay attention to the pressure and the moon phases, but honestly, it doesn't stop me from going. I go because I have to go, so I go out and catch them.
Look what Tyler Burt said.
No matter what.
Well, look what Derek White said right above him, though, 2 up. So it's both. I mean, so see, we got 2 different opinions. One
You got fish moving up right now.
You know what? And I think both
places.
Opinions are correct. It just
Yeah.
depends on where you're out on the lake.
Yep.
There's so many different factors that go into it.
I mean, you could pull into a pocket, find a bedfish, 5 bedfish one week, and then turn around, come back. There'll be 15 in that pocket next
But
week.
it's interesting that you don't. Both of those guys, Paul done knocked us off the air.
Paul, what are you doing?
He's back there playing with buttons. So you got 2 guys that are really good fishermen, and both of them have a little bit different opinion. So that's pretty interesting. Are you always finding fish you've located on your fish finder? And he also had a question too. What ramp are they seeing in your videos?
There's many ramps.
Many ramps. Okay,
I put in all over the lake.
Okay.
Most of it's north, but
Right. But are you always fishing fish you've located on your fish finder? That's what
I do pay attention to my fish finder, and that's the best advice I can give you is even if it's a cheap fish finder, just pay attention, look for bait. There'll be fish around the bait.
How and exactly what pressures do you look for?
I like a falling barometer, but like I said, it's not like I'm going to, if I see the barometers rising, it doesn't stop me from going. I still go,
Right.
You got to fish when you can.
Right. And that's a good comment by Brian down there. The time change doesn't it has no difference on the length of the day. That's just for us humans. You get X amount of sunlight, and it either gets longer or darker earlier. That's going to change. But whether we change the clock does not do that. How far north will you go?
As far as I can get.
As far as you can get?
As far as I can get my boat up there, and if I'm not in my boat, I'll take my kayak and
Gotcha.
keep on going.
Okay, I totally get that. Let's see. So there was another question. I was reading about 5 of them there. When you are fishing topwater in the summer, are you bank fishing or fishing over deeper brush?
Yes. Both.
Both.
I was about to say that didn't answer.
No, well, okay. So what do you target first?
Depends on where I'm fishing. If I'm a little bit mid lake, I'll fish over deep brush, and sometimes the north part too. But I like to find bluff walls that drops quickly, drop offs,
Gotcha.
and throw it up there.
Okay. And at EWE2K, yes, he has caught walleye. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
I haven't caught any recently.
Oh, recently. That might be a better what he was asking right there. So, yeah, Sammy, what's going on, buddy? I think, what did he say? What did Sammy say? Pull that up right there. I think the water temp determines what depth the bass come to bed when it's their time. That might have something to do with it.
I like the ones that live shallower are the first ones to go.
Well, it might be. Absolutely might be. What's your go-to lure for spotted bass this time of year? Fishing Lanier this Saturday, and they've never been. So
you've never been. I'm telling you, if it depends on what you're comfortable fishing, but I would
rock crawler.
That rock crawler has been just killing it for me lately.
9 to 14 foot. That's what you said.
55. Get a crawdad color. Try to find one that's got a little orange on it.
targeting
Rocky points.
rocky points. And you got now. Do you do when I throw my rock crawler? I'm digging that joker.
Oh yeah, you got to dig it through the.
You got to
want
be
it
hitting something.
pinging off of rocks. Yeah,
Yeah, that thing will deflect very well off of rocks.
you can bring it over
hung,
trees too. It's very weedless.
It is, and if you get hung, just go get
Yep.
it. You know, whatever. Kevin, good night, buddy. We appreciate you listening, and make sure you finish this tomorrow. You seem to fish bluff walls a lot. Is there a time of year that you don't?
No.
So you're always targeting the bluff walls.
Not always, but I points and bluff walls are good areas to concentrate on.
Okay.
Especially during the wintertime. I don't know what it is, but a lot of the bigger spots like to hang out around the bluff walls during the winter.
It might be.
Summer too. My topwater fishing is bluff walls is my main thing.
Really?
In the summer, yeah.
Okay. And so you just calling them fish up.
Yep.
From that. That's awesome. Fishing with farmer with a fluke nose hooked, burning it back and killing it, or a chrome gun. I don't even know what I thought he had a question right there.
Gunfish is like
He's talking about how they will come pop them like that. We're about an hour and 20 in. Let's do this because I know, and you guys, if you got questions on Lanier, keep them coming. He'll answer them. But you've been fishing some other lakes here recently. Logan Martin in Alabama being one of them.
Love that lake. Yes.
And tell everybody a little bit about Logan Martin and what kind of fishing you
Logan
had
Martin
over there.
is I believe it's on the Coosa River.
It is,
and it's got a lot of fish. I mean, I don't care what kind: stripers, hybrids, white bass, spots, largemouth. Every time we go, we do. My son lives there, so I get to fish there quite a bit. But we do really well. There's a lot of A-rig, a lot of guys throwing A-rig. If you like to fish a spoon, you can go out and just fish vertically and spoon them. The swim bait is great there.
Right.
The rock crawler will work. I don't care what you throw. Just go fish points and stuff.
And I'm glad you said that rock crawler because you've had a couple other more questions. How deep are you throwing the RC55?
I throw it right up shallow and just crank it all down the rocks, and it'll it's got an erratic action when it's bouncing those rocks, and that's the key. Bouncing off rocks, you'll get bit a lot of times just as soon as you hit a rock. Then
Absolutely,
you'll feel it.
Are you pulling it, doing like a quick pull, or are you just straight reeling it hard once you?
I reel it hard, but I reel it slow here lately. I'm reeling it slow, so I'm working almost like you'd work a jig, really, except a little faster.
A little faster like that. And again, this can go to back. I'm sure it's a Lanier question, but it can go to Logan Martin since you were there just recently. With it heating up, how shallow have you been catching them? Or are they still in the 10 to 15 foot range?
That depends on the day. But I've been catching fish in a foot of water, and I've been catching fish in 30 feet of water. It just depends. In fact, one of my recent striper episodes, I know this is probably a different species he's talking about, but I was catching fish in 50 feet of water on the bottom with my jig.
Catching stripers.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
Some of the deepest fish I've caught here lately.
And that's on Lanier, though.
Yeah.
That was on Lanier. Did you get in any stripers on Logan Martin?
Oh, yeah.
Do the same thing?
Yeah.
What about crappie? You've been
there. That lake's full of crappies, but I can't call them crappie. I'm sorry.
I know you can. I know. I love that.
We haven't fished for them. We don't target them. I have so much fun with the stripers and stuff. I just haven't.
What's the best fish you've caught out of Logan?
We've caught some 4-pound spots. In fact, the last couple of trips, pretty much all we've caught's been spots. And we're catching 20 and 30 a piece when we go.
That's a good day.
And, some of them are, they're not all huge, but we do catch some good fish.
Okay.
And we've caught stripers that are, you don't catch a lot of big stripers in that lake, but if you can catch 5-pounders all day long,
that's one lake I ain't been to, but I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Martin
kind of sets up how I like to fish. You can get shallow, do a lot of flipping.
Oh man, you'd love Logan Martin.
Do you fish the north end or the south end of it? Where's your son's place at?
Well, he doesn't live. We travel about an hour to get there from his house. Honestly, I can't answer that question because he drives, and I don't really know where we're at.
You're just on the water.
He just says, "Get in the truck."
Yeah.
Sockeye. There you go. That's what they call them, sockeye out there. So. What's the weight of your hair jig and how are you working it? Sorry if you covered this already. I don't think we actually covered it.
I have,
but it's a special one.
I make several different weights,
right?
But I like to use an 1/8 ounce for the most part, just because of that slow fall. It's just it's enticing for the fish, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's really windy, I might go a little heavier. I make them up to a half ounce, but I hardly ever throw the heavy ones.
On the bottom?
Depends on the day.
Depends on the day. Okay. You just giving the fish what they. Now, let me ask you this. So you say depends on the day a lot. When you go with a specific bait, how much time are you giving it before let's just say you start on the bottom and they're not biting on the bottom. How much time do you give it before you'll pull that same bait up in the water column 10 feet?
It depends on what my fish finder's telling me.
Okay.
Because for the most part, even when I'm fishing spots, I'm looking at my fish finder and I'm following bait. The fish are always around the bait. So, if I see fish suspended, then I know I need to maybe throw the swim bait and, I'll count it down and then start retrieving it.
Right.
Or, if I know they're on the bottom, I'll throw the jig
you'll throw the jig. Okay. So let's try this. Let's reverse that and go in your summertime when you're talking about throwing top water.
Mm-hmm.
How long will you give the top water bite before you'll switch to throwing stuff on the bottom? Yeah.
On a good day, you'll catch them on top waters all day long.
No need to switch.
Yes. Why switch if
If
to me,
catch 'em.
I keep it simple. I
If
only
ain't
use
broke, don't fix it.
exactly.
Okay.
That's a good day. Now you don't have too many days where they'll hit all day, but some days they will.
I tell y'all, Lake they'll hit all day. That's Chattooga. Go to Chattooga if you want a good topwater bite.
Chattooga.
I think it's one of the best topwater lakes in the country.
Well,
I think Lanier's one of the best top, but I do like Chattooga. That's a good lake.
yeah,
Love it.
Chattooga has a very good reputation. Now, what's a lake that you plan on fishing here coming up?
I'm going to be going to Hartwell. Probably going to Blue Ridge, just because I like it. You can catch smallmouth. That's probably the only lake in Georgia you're going to catch smallmouth in.
Now, when will these trips be, do you reckon?
Soon, I'm hoping. It just depends on work schedule and stuff.
Right. Now, Hartwell, how do you compare Hartwell to Lanier?
Two completely different lakes, but they do fish similarly. Hartwell's a good topwater lake as well.
Mm-hmm.
In the summertime, you can go out there and catch all the spots you want. They may not be that big, but and we did, I did a couple of fishing reports for you that on Hartwell
right.
with topwaters. We did really good with largemouth.
Okay. When do you break? Okay. Oh, first of all, we got several questions. Did you ever get to 1,000 subscribers?
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Oh yeah. He's been there. And then the next question
but
is,
I can always use a few more.
That's right. Absolutely. We understand that. When do you break out the blue worm? I don't know what that means. I guess he has seen that.
That's the worm I make, or one of the worms I make. I never, it's always on the deck of my boat. I'll throw it every time I go out just to see.
Just to see. Do you ever go over to Weiss?
I have never fished that lake. I haven't.
Really?
Not too far. I mean, it's a long ways away. I've fished pretty much every North Georgia lake, but I've never fished Weiss. I'd like to.
And you go to Logan though, because your son.
Yeah, my son lives there. We fish Smith Lake in Alabama as well.
Do you like Logan Martin more than Smith Lake?
Definitely.
Really?
I like them both though.
Yeah.
Smith,
they kind of fish the same, right?
They're completely different. Now Smith fishes a lot like Lanier to me. It's very.
You said that last year. Didn't you go last year?
Yeah.
The Smith. That's right.
I'm probably thinking of a different lake.
Smith is deep and rocky. It's a lot like Lanier.
I'm thinking the one that Dustin Connell and them fish a lot.
Okay, so what are your thoughts about Smith Lake?
Love it. Love that lake.
Okay.
Now it's like I said, it fishes a lot like Lanier.
Mm-hmm.
We've done pretty well. We've been there and not done great too, but I really like it just because it suits my kind of fishing. I can fish my little jig pretty well in that lake.
Now, I just see that Kurt Wehunt's talking about Weiss is one of the best shallow swim jigs lake.
Take me when they're on it.
Shallow swim jigs.
Please.
Jig lakes in the South. Do you throw a swim jig a lot?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't even own one.
Yeah, I know some people do and some people don't.
My son does. He does really well with them, but
it works on all the way from Lanier all the way to Chickamauga.
It does.
So I'll just throw the swim bait, when it's pretty much the same.
You ever fished Appalachia?
Nope.
Man, ever since we've talked about Appalachia, I feel like every episode people's asking about that lake. Listen, guys, you got Appalachia, you got Lake Hiwassee, you got like 3 different lakes right there. There's more lakes than just Appalachia.
That's because Eric Thurman's got a cat. He's got a cabin on Appalachia.
You want to rent that joker out?
No,
for a
they don't
weekend?
rent. You got to go with him and his wife Rebecca.
Oh well, never mind then. It ain't a long drive. I could drive up there.
Well, why you don't like Eric?
I mean, I'm not going to go stay at somebody's random house. I don't know. I mean, I'd rather rent
They're
it.
pretty good people.
Well, maybe we can do that.
All right,
I love it up there, man. Those are 2 beautiful lakes. You like the striper fish? Dude, get up on Lake Hiwassee. big ones,
Big
big ones.
Do you fish Carter's Lake at all?
I have fished Carter's Lake a couple of times. It's I've got Lanier in my backyard,
Right.
or I can drive. I mean, I do like the lake though.
Okay. Ever had any luck with it? I mean, just it's a
Uh,
little different.
it is
It's a hit or
different.
miss.
It is pretty deep. That lake.
That is the deep
a
lake.
whole and it suits my kind of fishing pretty well though.
It does.
I did okay. I can't remember. It's been a few years back.
Well, one of my favorite things is watching in the comments how some people absolutely love a lake and other people hate it.
It's like me for Carter's. I hate it. It's
He
too
hates
deep.
it.
I'm a shallow guy. I don't go less than. I don't like to get less than 15 foot, honestly.
Like-
I'll drop on their heads, but I don't like to do it. But I hate Carter's because 9 times out of 10, you're fishing more than 15, 20 foot.
That's
Right,
true.
right. I mean, but that even goes from lake to lakes. Like some
Mhm.
guys will not go to the south end of Lanier, and some guys won't go to the north end. They act like it's two different lakes.
It does
Uh,
fish like two
It
different
is.
lakes.
I'm
It
sure
is.
it
That's
does,
100%. Lanier's
uh,
2 different lakes.
And
It
It
is.
is.
It
It
is.
It is.
And
Actually, it's kind of 3.
That's what I
You
always
got
say. You
mid
go-
lake,
Mhm.
you got upper lake, and you got the south
Yeah,
part.
I feel like
Yeah.
the upper part you can get a lot more shallow, do a lot more flipping and everything. Mid lake, you can get up into the flipping, you can go a little deeper, throw a crankbait, and then you're on the deep end. I don't even fish shallow unless they're spawning down there. Other times than that,
you're off deep.
I'm off deep. trying to catch 'em.
Justin Aaron Brooks. Hey, I can't wait to shave off your mullet, buddy. He asked,
Don't let him do it. You'll get a hook stuck in the back of your
any
head.
predictions or suggestions on a coney. You ever fished a coney?
I have fished a coney. You know what? I'm not a big fan of a coney. Every time I've been there, it's really crowded. You think Lanier is crowded. Every time I've been to a coney, it's just jam packed.
Got a BFL there this weekend. A lot of guys from up here are going to be down there
I can't
fishing
help you
it.
there, unfortunately. I don't fish it enough to be of any help.
Do you throw a drop shot at all?
No, I do not.
There you go. Oh, God bless you. Where can I get an FCP shirt, Dana?
Well, I'm working on that. If you watch my channel, I'll let you know.
So it's coming.
Available at Fish North Georgia.
Anyway,
They might be.
we might be. We'll see how we do one of these days. So Facebook user Love Weiss wished I loved Carter's. Wished I knew your name, baby. Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook
Hey,
and put
Fab
your name in
Fishing.
there. Fab Fishing. Who's Fab
He's
Fishing?
another one of my YouTube buddies. He
There
has
you
he has
go.
a channel. You guys need to check him out.
Fab
He
Fishing.
catches a
So
lot of fish too.
all right. So there you go. So after this show,
Mike Smith asked which section of Altoona is the best. Kind of fishes the same. The whole lake fishes the same
Yeah,
to
you,
me.
you gotta.
Stamp Creek.
Stamp Creek. There's a
all.
lot more places than Stamp Creek.
fish is the best.
You
But-
got to burn a lot of water on that lake. You're going to catch a lot of fish. It's just a matter of time before you find a
Be
good
careful of your lower unit on us.
That's
Especially right now, guys. If y'all are fishing it.
Careful on
yes.
Altoona.
Real quick
Yes.
before I get to this question, Kurt Weehunt, I want everybody though after this episode, make sure after the first thing you're gonna do after this episode is go to FCP Fishing, make sure you subscribe there, and then go to FAB Fishing and give him some love. And we definitely want to help everybody grow and
You're
build this
welcome, Adam.
community. What does FCP stand for?
They asked me that question last time, and it really doesn't. I guess you could say Fish Crazy Productions. We'll call it that. It doesn't really stand for anything, really.
Yes, that's so. I do remember that from last time. Harmon, no, he does not drop shot.
No,
No,
I know he's the ninja. Of
He's the
drop
ninja.
shot there, but
he's the ninja.
I do
and-
okay with my Texas rig.
I'm like you. I don't like a drop shot very often.
I will do it. I'm not very good. Absolutely fab. Definitely. And again, you share, FCP with everybody and then share Fish North Georgia with everybody. And let's all try to get a few subs off of this and help each other out. Now, is there a situation where you would consider throwing a drop shot, or would there be something you'll
It's
always
not like
go
I've
to?
never fished one. I have, and I just prefer the fish the way I fish.
Right?
But it's a little boring for me, I guess.
Yeah,
That's what we
absolutely.
all say. The guys that don't like to throw a drop shot, we're like, it's just too boring. It's
Uh,
too slow.
What kind of boat do you have?
I've got an old bass tracker.
You thought it's aluminum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I prefer
boat, yeah.
aluminum boats, honestly.
You do. I remember that, but it's red, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a Protein 175, and it was actually given to me by my son.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
if it wasn't for him, I'd still be on the kayak.
Hey, there you go. Is there an ideal place to put a kayak in Alatoona? Stamp Creek.
There's a
Red
Not-
Top Mountain's a pretty good little
It
ramp
is.
there.
I'm gonna say Stamp Creek is my default for Altoona.
Where, see, we fish a lot of the Monday and Tuesday nighters. Back 3 years ago, where they used to do the Wednesday nighters, it's trying to think of the name of the ramp. It's not Victoria. It's where you come over the bridge and the boat ramp's right there on the left. You can put in right there. It's a no wake zone. Not a lot of people's back in there. You can go far back up the creek, or if you take a left, you can go out right on the main lake. Casey would know Little River. That's
Little
it,
River.
Little
Okay,
River.
there you go.
That's a good place to put in,
Little
especially
River's
if you
a
want
good
to
place
kayak.
to fish, period, on
Yeah.
Altoona.
Because you can go if you put in at Little River and you go back up to the right, there's a lot of good pockets, some couple deeper spots. And if you take a left, you can go kind of out toward the main lake. But if you get a little too far, you get out there around the mass curves, you might get run over because people on Altoona do not care.
There's no
It's
doubt
true.
about that. Hey, scroll up just a little bit if you don't mind for a second, Paul, up to Danny Hogshead. Right there. Let's see. Yeah. Danny, tell your friend from Memphis thank you. And again, when he goes home, make sure he tunes into FCP Fishing, gives it a subscribe, and also here at Fish North Georgia. But thank you for sharing our show and Dana with one of your friends from out of state. I think it's pretty cool. Last week we had a fella from Japan on here watching.
Oh, really? Cool.
I was hoping he'd jump on tonight.
What was his name? Like it wasn't Tamale. It was like Taka. It was something like
Taka. I was about to say Takahoochie. What the hell am I thinking?
Takasaki or something like that. It was actually
Taka
pretty
something.
cool. Okay, so there you go. Harmon's going to bed. So in the water. In case y'all don't know, Dana is a killer musician as well. Yes,
Thank you.
we know he's a musician. We're going. Next time you come, bring a guitar.
We'll think about that.
We'll let you play, and then you can sing.
You got a guy that could do some intro music for the podcast instead of us just coming on talking, especially like when we upload to Spotify.
How did you hear the man who said he was busy though? And
I'm just saying, you have an opportunity to make some intro music to the spot or to the podcast.
Takuma. There you go. Takuma.
That's him.
That was the guy last week. Takuma-san. So that's pretty cool. Boss Man watches every episode from Memphis. Hey, that's awesome.
That's
So
cool.
we appreciate that. Have you ever fished Chick?
Never been there.
No, that's your lake though.
Chickamauga.
Chickamauga. That's your lake. So we'll have to do a Chickamauga. Dana, do you fish tournaments?
Not currently. I have, like I said, I upload 2 episodes a week all year long. And just between that, trying to make a living and editing film, I just don't have time.
How much time do you spend editing?
Oh, man.
It's tough,
It
ain't it?
is. It's not easy.
No.
If you want to do it well,
Correct.
I'm not even saying I do it well, but I'm getting better.
Right.
That's one of the hardest things to learn, especially guys that's like not real good with computers, man. It's so hard.
What do you film
So
with?
hard.
GoPros.
With
GoPros.
GoPros.
Do
Okay.
you use the app on your phone to do that, or
No.
you do everything on by computer?
What do you mean by to edit?
Yeah, because I know that.
I edit. I use. I've got a Mac and I use iMovie.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
GoPro's got an app that you can do it on your phone. I just didn't know.
They do. It's
It ain't
it's,
worth it. It
it's
ain't
not.
worth it.
No, you can't do a good enough job.
Yeah, I know you
don't
could.
think.
I know you could do like short clips for like Facebook.
Yeah,
like
you could
like
do
a
that.
15-second video
Yeah.
of you catching one or something. But the editing stuff, man, that's out of my game, man.
I have fished Notley. I love Notley. I don't I'm reading the.
No, absolutely. Go ahead. Yes.
I love Notley. It's a great lake. I haven't fished it a lot. I do pretty well on largemouths there for whatever reason.
Mhm.
But I like all the mountain lakes. In fact,
Mhm.
I like any lake, man. I
Yeah, he really does. You didn't
just
set a lake.
love fishing.
So there's not one lake you just despise to go to that you're like, I don't want to go
Laconia
there
and
today.
Sinclair, you can keep
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I
That's
got
just
you.
me.
That's like man Carter's. I just don't want to go.
What pound test do you use primarily on your various setups?
On my spinning rod, I use 8-pound Gamma Touch fluorocarbon. It's the strongest 8-pound line you will ever find.
Do you
Okay.
tying it to braid, or you just
Nope,
straight
straight
fluoro?
fluorocarbon.
You're a
I
straight
hate
fluoro.
braid. I hate it. I don't. I mean, I have a couple of setups where I do that, but I don't like braid.
Yeah.
And on my bait casting setups, I don't go any higher than 12-pound test usually. Now, 12-pound Gamma, the breaking strength is like 17-pound of everybody else's, so it's good stuff.
You like it,
I love that
Okay.
line. In fact, I use it exclusively. I'm not sponsored or anything.
right?
just
But
like
that's
it.
what you like. So, okay. Have you ever thought about chartering?
Yeah, maybe someday, but right now my boat's too small, and I just, like I said, I got, I'm growing my channel, and I don't have time.
Like that. I love this guy. Hates braid, throws fluoro or
Ah.
throws finesse. Yeah, and fluoro. So
My kind of guy.
How about West Point?
Love
Lake?
West Point. I fish West Point. I haven't fished it in the last couple of years, but I do like West Point. It's a good lake.
Well, I used to live on West Point,
I
down in
guess we should-
LaGrange.
Yes. You lived on West Point?
Well, I lived down in LaGrange, and we were always on West Point growing
I
up.
got you. What? Never mind. We'll talk about it a different day.
No, go ahead.
Was it West Point or Sinclair that used to be really, really good for largemouth, but kind of
West Point
West
used to be a
Point.
largemouth lake. Now it's a spot.
like
lake.
they said one of them you used to go down there and just be able to hammer big
West
largemouth.
Point in its heyday was pretty hard to beat.
They said it was like Eufaula and stuff like that. It had some grass in it too, right?
Well, now I was young, so I don't remember all
Don't
that.
remember.
But I know now that the state's actually stocking largemouth back in the West Point,
Oh,
if I'm not
the state-
mistaken.
Stocking them in Alatoona,
State,
too.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say state's been stocking largemouth in Altoona for years too, and
You know.
you're still catching. You know what Altoona needs? Put some bait in that lake. Start putting some blue heron or something like that in it.
Lanier needs just the opposite. They need some hybrids or something. There's
Just
too much
something
bait.
too much bait there. Fishing fluoro exclusively. How often do you change your line?
Depends.
Good question.
If you watched any of my recent episodes where I'm catching stripers on my little spinning rod, I have to change it out a little more often. But that Gamma fishing line is it's stout, and I'll just depends on how many big fish I've.
Don't get a lot of line character or nothing.
No.
I
See,
like-
that's the good thing about fishing braid. You can just cut your leader off, boom, brand new, about 3 foot line a leader.
I like what Clifford Wright says. That's a very good comment. Real fishing with great tidbits of information for several species. You can watch the same episode a few times and pick up some great information. And now let me ask you something. Do you think it's because you don't fish tournaments and you don't have like an ulterior motive? You just like to fish and you like to record it. I mean, the show,
Yeah.
that makes your show. So
I think it's interesting. One of my biggest episodes that has the most views, I was fishing for gar.
yes,
Which
yeah.
I like catching fish. It doesn't matter to me. It's not the glamour species like bass, but
But that's what I'm saying. You like to catch fish.
I do.
So
Now I do
just
catch
that.
plenty of bass.
Oh,
but,
you do absolutely.
But I like fishing, and I don't mind. I try to give as much information as I can without
Correct.
How was you targeting your gar?
Fishing my little homemade jig.
No, I mean, like what time of year? Like what?
It was fall.
fall.
It was fall.
Tell you what, if you want to really target them, what I found out is when them jokers start swimming up shallow, they throw a jerk bait. They will chase a jerk bait, and you stop it in front of them and pause it. 9 times out of 10, they're going to inhale it.
Yeah, but let me ask you this: would you really want to lose a good
No.
jerk bait to a gar?
No,
I was using,
hell
I was
no.
using my 8-pound test on my spinning rod, and I think I landed 10 that day.
Really?
And they bit me off a couple of times, but you
I hate them things. I wish there was more bow fishermen on Lanier. They'd kill them.
man, they fight great. They jump like a tarpon. They're fun to catch.
Really? Okay. So I've caught a few in a river.
And only
But
time
on
I
that-
really target them is when in the summer when the fishing's kind of slow. I'll go out and fish for them. It's fun.
I got you. You do anything for like carp or anything like that just for fun?
I catch carp on my jig too once in a while, but I don't target them.
Don't target them.
Nah.
Okay. So what's the biggest non-bass, non-striper fish you ever caught on your jig?
Oh, probably a muskie or a
Really?
northern pike back in Nebraska.
Back in Nebraska and all that? Okay. Shredded rope for gar. I've seen that. Your channel just has a regular guy that goes fishing and has a go fishing vibe, and we appreciate that. And that's kind of what I was saying. He's just kind of like your just
Thanks for saying
just
that.
a cool
I
dude.
appreciate you watching.
and it is. There's a lot of channels out there, and there's a lot of guys that catch a lot of fish, but some people are just really stuffy. It's just hard to watch a lot of guys.
Now if you want to watch a channel where they do the Barbie rod challenge and all that stuff, my channel's not the channel for you.
Right,
I
yeah.
just go fishing, and but I like fish. I like catching everything.
It is.
And if I'm really excited about the white bass fishing's coming up here soon up the river. I'll go up there and catch white bass like it's.
Will you do it? Are you going to do an episode
Oh, yeah.
specifically targeting the
Yeah.
white bass?
Oh yeah,
Now, how will you be fishing for those?
swim bait
Swim bait.
or
Do
my
you,
jig. Just depends on the day, but yeah.
do you downsize it any for the same thing?
There's some monster white bass up the river.
Really?
Oh yeah, 2.5, 3 pounders.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
big ones. Big
Now,
ones.
do
the
you-
stripers will be up there at the same time,
Right.
so you can catch spots. If you're far enough north, you catch some shoal bass, and you'll catch white bass and stripers.
Now, do you ever keep any of these fish? Or is this all for fun?
I'm kind of a snob when it comes to eating fish. I'll eat walleyes, and I'll eat some crappies once in a while.
But bass, white bass, all that you you're letting go.
I'll jump in with a question.
Jump in with here.
You like a shad wrap?
No, I don't. No. For
And-
what? For what species?
I mean, up the river, early spring, white bass.
You can
spotted
catch
bass,
them,
whatever.
you know.
Yeah,
and
no.
now, just because I don't fish these lures doesn't mean they don't work. You know,
Right,
I just
right,
like
yeah.
to fish the way I like to fish. But I'll go. You know, the swim bait up the river is deadly.
What is it about a shad wrap that you don't like? Just out of curiosity.
It's crankbait. You know, it's too much work. Arthritis in the hands. You know.
But you're liking that rock crawler though, right now.
Oh, yeah, I do. Now it hurts me at the end of the day.
It does. I understand that. Absolutely.
There's, you know, this last comment there. Shad wrap works good for white bass on Blue Ridge. There's not very many white bass left in Blue Ridge, I'm afraid. It used to be, I'd go up there and catch thousands of them, but not anymore.
It's that lake is definitely changing. It seems like
The bluebacks
Um,
have hurt that white bass fishery as well.
so. Yeah. So you're not a blueback fan.
No, I think it changed the lake negatively. I think, you know, a lot of people will disagree with that, but
Right. If you could get the blueback out of Lanier, would you?
there's,
If it were possible.
well, it's not possible,
But
but
if it were, and what would you replace it with?
gizzards and thread fins.
Gizzards.
There's plenty in there.
Okay. Chad or have it. Okay, let's go with Andy first. Soft plastic swim bait or a jointed hard bait swim bait?
Soft plastic.
Soft plastic, more like a Kitech style is
Yep.
kind of what he's mentioned. Chad or do you primarily fish north of Gainesville Marina? Tell Zane not to forget his crankbait next time. He got goosed. You crushed him
He did.
on the Spro rock
The
crawler.
next trip, I let him have the one I was catching him on, and he caught more than I did. So, you know.
Okay.
What was the question? Do I fish primarily north of Gainesville Marina? Depends on the time of year, but I do spend a lot of time above Gainesville Marina. But we actually fished the Gainesville Marina area today. Didn't do that great, but we did catch some fish.
What'd you catch up that way?
Spots.
Spots. So
Yeah.
you were on spots again today. Derek White, I did a white bass trip actually today. So it's getting that time of year. And do you ever go to the waterfall in the Chestatee?
I am not. I haven't.
What
been
is the
that far
waterfall
up.
in the Chestatee? How far up is that?
No.
I mean, I've floated
know.
down the Chestatee in my
How far?
kayak. I've never seen a waterfall. I mean, I've seen some shoals, but
What is considered the waterfall there, Blake? Because I know you know. I can tell by that grin on your face.
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
You lie like a dog, I guess. Or
Let
past
me,
the dredge.
Let me just tell you, if you know where that's at, throw a swim bait, Sabil, throw a crankbait. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know where that's
If you
at.
know where that's at. Keep
There's not a lot of people that go up there because
I
it's
gotcha.
way up there, and you better be careful if you're going that far. Hey,
oh, you talking about the copper mines? Now I've been up there. Is that what he's talking about?
Okay, so that's what. Yeah,
That's
I
the
guess.
big. Yeah,
I did tear a lower. I did tear a lower unit off up there.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. It's more of a creek coming in. Keep the blueback. Someone. I'm gonna just put EW said. Makes Lanier a world class fishery.
does.
There was a world class fishery before the bluebacks too. So
Yeah, but the bluebacks is what makes
You
the
can't get rid-
stripers get so
it
big.
really doesn't matter because you're not getting rid of the bluebacks now
well,
anyway.
but now,
It was a world class fishery when you had all the largemouth in there.
Exactly.
Largemouth has went on decline. That was not because of the bluebacks.
Oh, I think it contributed to it.
I mean, it contributed, but also contributed when they started putting the stripers, the hybrids, the spots, and all that in there. And what's made that so good of fishing is the bluebacks.
okay. Well, let me ask you this now. So let's just real quick for a second, because a lot of people think Lanier is on a decline with both of those, and there's
No.
still plenty of bluebacks.
Largemouth is coming back. I've been fishing
no,
Lanier
not
since I was
largemouth.
17.
Not the largemouth, the stripers and the spots that you said were created because of the bluebacks.
The reason the striper fishing isn't as good as what it was 10 years back is because the gill maggots.
Okay, now what
I
about
have
the
proof.
spots?
Spot fishing is still amazing to me.
Well,
If you want to catch spots, come to Lanier. That's where the big spots are, and it's because of how much bait is in the
You
lake.
can go to any lake in Georgia really and catch the spots.
But the bigger spots are in Lanier.
probably in
You
Carter's.
go to Altoona.
What about Carter's? Carter's don't have blueback.
Yeah, but a lot of people aren't up there catching the big spots. It's easier to catch a bigger spot on Lanier in Georgia than any other lake. And I'll put $100 bill on that. You put somebody on Carter's. Listen, you put an average angler on Carter's.
Mm-hmm.
It is harder to catch a 3.5 pound spotted bass on Carter's than what it is on Lanier. I will put $100 bill on it.
Okay, so what you're saying though, is that your opinion is that?
No, I believe that's a fact. I mean, from people that I've personally met, yes, Carter's has. I don't know if it's got more bigger spots on it. The thing is, the spots down there are bigger. There's more AOI in the lake. They've got a lot of different forage. The best spotted bass fishing lake in the state of Georgia is gonna be Lanier.
I've been fishing Lanier for 30 years. In the trout days, we had lots of 6 and 7s back then.
It's true.
So trout was way better than the bluebacks.
That's an opinion. There's still a lot of 6 and 7 pounders in there. You just got to catch them.
Well, he's the one catching them every night, though. That's posting all these pictures and all that. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's saying that the days when it was just you fishing for trout would have been better, and that the trout were in the lake. So, largemouth are coming back because we lost the water war a few years back, and that's why Lanier has stayed so full the last few years. Helped the largemouth a lot.
I don't think the largemouth fishing ever suffered on Lanier personally.
Well, that's the thing. You catch a lot of largemouth
Yes,
all
I
the
do.
time.
It just depends on where you're fishing. You know, largemouth are fine on Lanier.
Stock
I've caught more
trout.
largemouth in the last few years than I have in the last 10 years.
I think the reason is because about 3 years back when the lake was so low, it grew a bunch of the dogfin on the spawn. Their babies or whatever you call them, the fry had a lot more places to hide, and the bluebacks couldn't come up and eat them.
Now, I look at that. Look at that. Go back. Scroll back down towards the beginning. Oh, okay. We'll do that question. Have you ever fished for smallmouth in the TVA lakes?
I have.
Back there.
You know, Blue Ridge is a TVA lake.
Yeah.
I love. I grew up fishing smallmouth.
Yeah.
So most of my fishing techniques are smallmouth / walleye techniques that just happen to work. You know, down here.
They had a big stripper kill on Lanier 10 years
kill.
ago. Hey,
It's going to happen again. The gill maggots are still.
It was on the news. There was a shortage of strippers there for a while. I hope they didn't come out of Gainesville. Anyway, the back to the comments there for a second. If we had trout, now this is okay. I know we've had some questions, but this is a good comment, Derek White. If we had trout, we would have 10 pounders like California.
Exactly.
If you also had a largemouth stocking program, it'd be a lot better also.
Well, but he's talking about 10 pound. He's talking about 10 pound spots.
You'd have 10-pound spots.
Yeah,
he's talking about. He's basically saying Clear Lake.
Those stripers are going to be eating most of those things. I mean, you'd have to have a top-notch stocking program for if you're going to start putting trout in the lake. I mean, you'd have to take big canoe, start putting 5,000 of them things in there a month, and then probably start making a difference.
Yeah, but I have noticed that Big Canoe stocks a larger size trout than.
That's also true.
And so they're not stocking yearlings. So he goes, no. So Derek don't agree with you. We'll have to get Derek, take me and you out, and y'all can sit there and argue about that one night. Lots of trout being released as bait in the winter. Yeah, true, but not on the level of stocking.
No, that ain't enough to do anything.
They used to dump 1,500 every 2 weeks. And now you've been fishing Lanier a long time. Did you ever go back during the day? I know during the 80s, my grandfather and my dad would park out in front of the dam, and they would just downline and catch big lake trout.
Yeah,
do you remember those days? Did you ever do that?
A little bit before my time on Lanier.
Yeah, and I was too young to really fish. I just remember them doing it all the time.
No, I did when I first started fishing Lanier was in the 80s though, and the fishing was pretty good. I do remember that.
Yeah, there are stories of double-digit bass coming out of Big Canoe. They're there.
Those ain't stories. That's an every year thing.
It
I've
is.
seen them.
They come out. That is absolutely 100% true. There has been, was it 16? Almost 17 caught out of there.
There was a big one caught about 4 or 5 years ago. Guy caught it off a dam on vacation. It was between like 15 and 17 pounds.
Yeah, there's some big ones on there, and there's a ton of trout in Big Canoe, and it's very deep. However, a lot of those trout that they stock are already catching size for
they do a lot of between the 6 to 10 inch range, but Man, there's the largemouth are huge up there. It
They are
nothing,
huge.
It ain't nothing for them to go up there and swallow. one
Trout
of
are
them
much
things.
higher in protein than any shad or herring in any body of water.
That is
True.
true.
So there you go, 16.4 at a big canoe. Higher in fat as well. So, again, it's just again, and I love this. It's just a different of opinions. You, Dana, would prefer to see the trout over the blueback, I would say, or does it matter?
I
to
don't
you?
honestly. I don't lose any sleep either way. Now the bluebacks are a fact of life on Lanier, and they always will be.
If
So-
you were,
they ain't
if
going
you
nowhere.
let's just say Lake Lanier had neither one, and you were choosing one to stock
I put
tomorrow,
trout.
You're going with the trout.
I'd go gizzard shad and stock largemouth in it. People think largemouth, like if there was a stocking program that they wouldn't do good. You got enough shallow water creeks and pockets and stuff like that. I think it'd be great. There's already gizzard shad. I've seen huge schools of gizzard shad up around Laurel Park, Thompson Creek, stuff like that.
Oh, Jim Farmer caught one like a 14-incher the other day.
yeah, there's plenty of gizzard shad in the lake, but
Oh yeah.
I wish that they would do some kind of stocking program for some largemouth.
Derek White, I lose sleep over it. Yeah,
Mhm.
he likes that. So of course, and he's guiding on there. So I mean that's a big thing. There are some big gizzards though.
Yes,
there.
I've caught them almost 2 pounds in there.
Yeah,
Just
Farmer
snapping
had a
up.
picture the other day on Facebook on the thing. It was 14-inch.
Mm.
And I think he caught it like on a, I don't know if it was a lipless crankbait or something like that, but he saw he was ripping through there. And I think at this point though, Lanier, so much money comes in with a spotted bass and it's known as a spotted bass.
It used to be the striper lake. That's what a lot of people
Well,
played
it
for.
might be, and I don't know,
Used to
maybe
be.
it's cyclical. I'm just so glad the shallow water bite has started on Lanier. Let's go largemouth bite. Everybody likes that largemouth, I guess, especially you'll see in these tournaments here the next couple of weeks.
A couple months, but
Somebody have 4 spots in a kicker largemouth. Maybe even all. I guess bed season you'll get the all largemouth sacks coming in.
There's still a lot of
Um,
guys that don't like to bedfish during tournaments, though. So you still have a lot of guys go and try to catch a big sack with spots. And the thing is, on Lanier, you can sack up 21, 22 pounds worth of largemouth off bed and still get beat with spots. That's the bad part.
You can. So,
Not saying it's a bad. I mean, it's more of a great thing, but still, it's like a kick to the gonads.
I
when it happens.
got you. I got you. Which would you rather catch, a largemouth or a spot?
Smallmouth.
I like your
He's
answer.
like me.
I like your
Smallmouth
answer.
over
But
all of them.
you know what? I like them all.
I know.
I really, but I do have an affinity for the spots. I do. And I love largemouth too, but
What is it about the spot that you like?
because it's a lot like a smallmouth.
Just the fight and
Similar. They
everything.
fight in there, they'll crush a topwater lure and I can catch them all year long. They're more active in the winter than the largemouth are.
That's true. That is very, very true. So, all right, so we're about an hour and 56 in. It is getting late, so let's.
Do 2 or 3 questions out of the box. Set it off.
You can do 2 or 3 questions for him if you can pull up some.
Some questions or
A couple of questions out of the box, and we can just do that. A smallmouth is the best fighting fish pound for pound. You know what? I hear people say that. Oh, okay. First, well, Dana fished the Seville.
I don't even own one. I mean,
So
I would, but I
He
don't.
will, but he doesn't own one. And I always hear people say smallmouth is the best, and I still think a daggum shell cracker is the best fighting fish pound for
Yeah,
pound.
that's a tough one to. That's a tough one to quantify.
Yeah, it's tough.
I mean, I'd say a big hybrid is pretty darn tough.
That's true. Yeah, you like the hybrid. I've heard you mention it.
Hybrids, stripers, white bass. I love them all.
You love them all.
Yellow perch.
Hit your question.
Favorite sport besides fishing?
Probably football.
Okay. Baseball.
Yeah, between football and baseball.
You didn't have 2 or 3 questions ready?
I only grabbed one. Hold on 1 second.
Let's do it.
In there. Eddie Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix?
Van Halen all the way.
Yes.
Van Halen.
I'm just so glad
Not
somebody.
to take anything away from what Jimi Hendrix did, but Van Halen changed the whole world of guitar playing.
I knew the answer to that question because I talked to him about that real quick.
What's wrong? Can't hear me? Okay.
Something's wrong with Blake's mic. Here, I'll ask the question. All right, college football or pro football?
Yes. I like
You like
both.
all football?
Yeah.
What do you like, Blake? It's all right. It's good. I'm getting ready to end it.
I'm college.
Blake likes college, and I like all football. But I do like I do like pro football. Jimi Hendrix, fishing for Warriors TV. Listen, Hendrix, he would be. Yeah, I just I'm not even gonna go there. Not even gonna quantify that. So, your favorite tow vehicle?
I got an old F-150 that's still barely keeping, it's still running, but I only have one tow vehicle.
That's your tow vehicle. There you go. What's your favorite college football team?
Me would be, I'm a Cornhusker. I'm from Nebraska.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot that. So
now we're not very good anymore, but
no, he didn't fix your mic. So yeah, okay. Last question here. If you could only throw one lure for the rest of your life,
jig,
his homemade jig. That's true. And one day he's gonna patent it. And he's gonna sell it, and he's gonna be a millionaire because everybody's gonna go out and buy it. So, all right. So, what's your plans, real quick, on FCP fishing going forward?
I just want to keep growing my channel, and I would like to get to the point where I could, maybe get a van and hook the boat up to the back and just go from state to state and just fish on the way and film it all. I think it would be cool.
That would be very cool. That would be totally awesome like that. So, all right, guys, listen. So again,
thanks, Matt.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. A lot of new names tonight that I have seen. So we definitely appreciate you guys. Make sure, again, it's getting ready to be brought up on your screen. You need to follow Dana on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube at FCP Fishing. And definitely go to YouTube, give him a subscribe there. And again, he's very consistent. I will say this: he's probably one of the most consistent people at putting out content. He tries for twice a week, and he definitely puts the work in. How long you been filming?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years now. So it's very good stuff, and we appreciate that. And also, again, he does guide videos for us. And we appreciate all the stuff that Dana's doing. He is definitely a friend here at Fish North Georgia. So, guys, again, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. We'll be back Thursday night with another edition, covering something different Thursday night. We hope you will enjoy. We hope you will come again Thursday night. We hope you enjoyed tonight. Again, follow us on YouTube. Make sure you give us a subscribe and click that notification bell. We've got Facebook. We've got the Facebook page and the group page. Here at Fish North Georgia. We got Instagram and Twitter at Fish North Georgia. The Twitter is Fish North GA, and also we've got a TikTok again. So, guys, we appreciate you guys. Blake, I appreciate you taking one for the team and singing.
Another pound and a half. That's funny.
Another pound and a half.
That guy watches my channel because I say that a lot.
That's all right. That's all right. But again, we want to thank Dana for making the drive over here.
Anytime
tonight. We appreciate him. And guys, let's get a Rocky Mountain PFA show. We can do that. I can bring some guys in. Maybe next week we will do that. So again, appreciate all you guys. We will see you Thursday.